We got a black screen over here.
Pull it up on the channel.
He's got it. He's
All right. There we go. All right, guys. Welcome to this Thursday night's edition of the Livewell here at Fish North Georgia. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We got a great episode in store for you. Had a lot of fun already.
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum.
Yum,
Yum, yum. We'll explain that on the Adult Swim version later on down the line. When the Patreon starts, we'll do that. But again, seriously, thank you. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button right there and click the notification bell. Make sure you button your shirt up right there.
busted out of my shirt.
You got the one on from last week?
Keep it classy, San Diego.
We're not gonna. I'm not kidding. I know I'm old, but man, that was absolutely hysterical. What
Corey Harmon, you come out here with your baby rattle.
That's right. That's right. So
I must have missed that one.
I can't even get through the intro. This is going to be a great night. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and give us a like and a thumbs up so we can tell if we're doing things right and stuff like that. Also, make sure you join us at Fish North Georgia group page and the Fish North Georgia page on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Fish North Georgia. The Twitter's Fish North GA. The TikTok, we got all that stuff. Am I missing anything, Mr. Ryan? Did I nail all that right there?
You got pretty good. You just got to get into our wonderful, fantabulous sponsors.
Hello, Dilly Dilly.
I will do that. That's right. And also, too, this episode will be downloaded. If I don't blow the mics up this time and everything's right, it will be downloaded on iTunes and Spotify. So if you are one of those that are listening to this at a later date, just want to let you know that this is a live show recorded. We've got a monitor in front of us, and we have people that are joining us. And so from time to time, you're going to hear me refer to somebody by name or stuff like that. They're just some crazy local people in our neck of the woods. And so I want you to know exactly what's going on so you can follow in with the conversation as we go. And of course, absolutely, we want to thank our fine sponsors. We're going to start off with Rachel Collins, 400homes.com. Again, if you're looking for professional real estate services, and if you're also looking for the woman who can outfish the guy to my left, right there, that's him right there. That's James.
Give that man a hat. Give that man a hat.
I don't let her in the club.
You don't let her in the club?
Nope.
Yum yum. Hey, yum yum.
Red.
Yum yum's all I got to say.
Yeah.
So yum yum. So
go anywhere.
Oh boy. Rachel, we love you and we appreciate your sponsorship. Guys, seriously, honestly, if you're looking for professional, honest, one-on-one service that you can't get from the big brokers like that, you want somebody like Rachel, okay? She's one of us. She likes to fish, but she is honest, and she will do you an absolutely outstanding job if you're looking to buy or sell real estate. Give her a call at 770-310-0599, or you can email her at rachelcollins@400homes.com. And, of course, if you look right behind me, point the sponsor right there. There's Rachel herself, and we want to thank her very much for not only letting James come play tonight, but also for her continued support of us here at Fish North Georgia. We also want to thank Buford Dam Bait and Tackle at 2595 Buford Dam Road in Cumming, Georgia. Guys, listen, Dave and his crew are just like us here. All right, they totally believe in one-on-one service. They treat you like friends, like you've been in there forever. They'll give you exactly what you need, not what they want to sell you, okay? They want to make sure your day is successful on the water. If you're a striper guy like that, live bait, they got all that stuff, anything for the bass guys. If you're into the trout game, you like to go down below Buford Dam, get in a Chattahoochee or something like that, hey, they can set you up as well, okay? So make sure Buford Dam Bait and Tackle, and you can give them a call, 706-429-7211. And tell them both, the guys at Fish North Georgia sent you there. So
point at the sponsor, please?
Yeah, right behind you. Give us a point. Buford Dam Bait and Tackle right there. So that's it. So honestly, listen, David and they're great guys, and we enjoy him and Alan and all them. They'll work hard to gain your trust and stuff like that. So here's what we're going to do tonight. Dilly dilly dog, to everybody out there. Yum yum to those that know what's on it.
Oh my God!
We'll explain it to y'all. Y'all can message me directly. We're going to yum yum all night. And
oh my God, me and you are the only ones who do it.
Ryan and I yum yum, and apparently we're the only ones. We'll explain it to you later. But
don't ask.
Yeah, ask.
Direct message only.
Direct message only. So anyway,
not on the podcast.
Let me introduce our fine panel that we've got here tonight. All right, straight across from me, the one and only.
You may want to give me a second.
The incomparable.
I think the last time you were here, I think it's the one that it just went to hell in a handbasket.
Didn't we get demonetized on Sal's?
I'll take the blame. Take the blame. So, that's good.
So Sal Pinto's in the house tonight, and
what up, Justin Butler?
Always good to see you. and we appreciate you coming up and playing with us. That sounded wrong. Let me rephrase that. We appreciate you coming up and spending some time with us tonight and talking some fishing.
Hands are on the
Hands
table,
are on
folks.
the table. Thank you. Absolutely. And of course, joining us tonight is James Collins. I did introduce him as Rachel's significant other, but also he is a local area angler and a good friend of us here at the store. And
What's going on, guys?
good guy, knows how to fish, and so we're going to throw him to the fire. And of course, got Mr. Ryan Sheffield in the. Now that he's got his shirt buttoned up and everything and looking good,
You gotta get
Do the Superman.
necklace out there.
do the suit.
Let him see the chain.
A
Ryan,
little bit of bling bling. Oh boy.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ryan, that's awful. That's awful.
Where do we go from here, Dan?
Home.
Put it on.
We go home. Woo! We go home. And we got Paul running the board back there. Good to have everybody here in the house.
Paul.
Paul.
Hey,
So real quick, before I get it, I'm gonna tell you what we guys are gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do tonight. So on these few pieces of paper, I've got two things. I've got some fishing kind of misconceptions, stuff like that we're gonna go over, and I've also got some pretty interesting. As I was noodling looking for these, some facts about bass too. We're gonna pull them out as well. But before we get going on that, how's the fishing been for you here lately here in North Georgia?
I haven't fished in Georgia in about a month.
Well, what the hell are you on the show for?
Good question.
No,
I just-
where you been?
Fishing North America.
I went up north. I was on the St. Lawrence River
What's
for
up, Chance Smith?
7 days and fished in Nida Lake a couple days, and then just hit a fish like a local canal chain.
Yeah.
It's the old Erie Canal, basically, that you heard about in the storybooks, but they changed it from the barge canal. So it goes from Lake Ontario all the way down to the Hudson River in Albany, New York. It's a lock system. And, local people don't like fishing it because the water's dirty. But I'm telling you, we pulled some of the most beautiful fish I've ever seen. 4 hours one evening and caught 8 different species. And the next morning I went out with another buddy and we caught 9 different species of fish in the same amount of time.
Is that classified as the Erie Slam?
It might as well be. The only thing we didn't catch was a carp and a catfish.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it was, and muskie and tiger, but, we caught northerns, we caught crappie, crappie,
There you go.
perch,
I wasn't gonna
walleye,
say nothing.
smallmouth, rock bass, largemouth. I mean, it was crazy how many fish we caught.
The NPFL, their tournament next weekend is on the Erie and St. And they can
They're
go
going
to
out of
St. Lawrence,
Sandusky Bay.
out of Sandusky Bay
Sandusky.
and all that. So,
Okay.
while I'm at it, good luck to Logan and Jesse Millsaps, Cody Parker, Robbie Frazier, Rob
Robleski.
Robleski. Good
Rob
Lord.
Robleski.
Captain Rob.
Captain Rob. He
Robleski.
was last week's guest, and William Fletcher. He's from Georgia too. Hey, shout out to him. Good luck to all you guys out
Yeah,
there. And I
good
hope you, first of all, be safe, and I hope you all do a very good job in this tournament. And Logan is sitting currently third in the Angler of the Year points.
That's
as
amazing.
as a rookie.
That's amazing.
As a rookie, so very impressive. He's had a hell of a year. Scratch fishing. It's called the Erie Trash Can. Hey, there you go. Whatever. That'll work. Whatever they want to call
It's
it.
unique.
Yeah.
All right. And how about you, James? You fished any lately? I know you fish in some tournaments and stuff here around Georgia.
Mostly club stuff. I've hit Lanier a handful of times. Right now in August, it's just, for me, it's tough. I mean,
It's tough for everybody.
We were talking earlier, like my little floaty thing. It's blessed to have one, but
seen that.
it's tough to stay on what I'm trying to focus on. Just because I don't have the live scope, all the fancy stuff like you guys do.
Don't
Like
need
we
it.
do. We don't have it.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to have.
You would like to have it. There
I
you
like
go.
that.
Well, yeah.
But no, as far as the club stuff goes, we've done a lot of the Alabama stuff. Sal, we missed you last month, but you were
It's one of my favorite lakes.
you were
Which one was that?
catching
Neely Henry.
Yeah, we were
Henry?
Neely Henry. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Absolutely.
you were catching way more than we were. I'll tell you that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
It has
you
been
didn't miss
tough.
it.
Let's go.
But
It
yeah,
has been
it's
tough.
It's a struggle, but keep
Win
getting
any
out
money
there.
on that one?
That's
Let's
right.
go.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do tonight.
Lottery commercial.
Again, like I said, we got
Commercial.
hold on, so I'll wait on them. You good?
He's showing me a golden crappie.
A golden crappie.
yeah.
Really?
It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I've never seen
He
one.
said it had a lottery ticket for 200 grand down its throat.
Hey, there you go. Whatever works. You get
Yeah.
the 200 grand?
Not yet.
Not yet. You waiting on it?
They're gonna Venmo it to me.
Venmo. They're gonna Venmo you 200 grand. Okay, there we go. Hey, with technology, they can do all kinds of stuff. So, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to go between a misconception and then a fact, and we're basically gonna break it down. So on this first one, we're gonna start with you, Sal, and work to Ryan, and then to James, and then we're just gonna go go down the line. And some of these are kind of vague and some of them are real specific, but we'll just see what you guys think about these things. We're going to start off with a good one right here. Red hooks. Fish hit red hooks because it resembles blood. What's your thoughts?
I went out and took a bunch of crankbaits and I changed the front hook to the red one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't caught a damn thing on it. Excuse my language.
No, that's
Sorry.
all right. No.
I haven't caught anything on them. And they're crankbaits that I would, we're talking rock crawlers. We're talking the Little Johns.
So you've tried it though.
Yeah, I have. I don't see a difference.
Okay.
And, and I know what you guys talked about it a couple weeks ago. That's fish see red and green, right?
Mhm.
Isn't it the idea of not being able to see the hooks?
It's a good point.
Right.
It's a good
So-
point. I don't know.
But I got guys,
I'm
friends.
no fish biologist. I don't know.
Yeah, I got guys that do it all the time and they swear by it. So I don't.
You don't.
No.
All right, Ryan.
I don't own a red hook.
So you think it's just garbage?
Yeah,
Not the
Gimmicky?
best color man in the business for nothing. folks.
Yeah. Seriously. Give me some.
trash.
It's trash.
I don't know. I really don't know. I know people who swear by them on fluke,
Yeah. So.
but as far as what I do, nah.
Okay.
If I'm for fluke, I gotta have a 5/0 red hook on it. That's not happening.
All right. What about you, James?
I'm kind of like him. I don't own one, but I started thinking maybe that was my problem. You know,
No,
not catching
He's
either.
brutally honest.
But no, I've had them on a couple of baits. I currently don't own a bait with it.
Okay, so we've got a couple of comments. Nathan says myth, fishing days, it works for me. So, I personally, I don't fish them, so I don't know, but it makes me go into the Cajun red line kind of thing.
Mhm.
Is that worth it? I thought, now correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, if we talk to LJ and stuff, that as you get down in the water column, is red not one of the first colors to actually disappear from the spectrum?
Yeah, it is.
It is. So,
Deeper.
the first. So, I mean, okay, let's say a deep diving crankbait. Why in the
Okay.
world would a red hook I mean, it's not going to do anything because according to LJ, which guys, if you're listening to this on iTunes, he's the local guide here in the North Georgia area. Also owns Lanier Baits, and he's a big time drop shotter, so he's always fishing deep. And he talks about color and how the light refracts and stuff like that. But he says red disappears quickest, and so to me, a red hook would be useless on anything below 15 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Makes
don't
sense.
know, but I don't know the red line fad. I know that was big a few years ago. So, okay. So pretty much everybody other than fishing days thinks it's a myth, red hooks. All right. So how about this? This is kind of more general. So you can just kind of give your feelings on it. Bass won't bite in extreme cold or extreme heat.
Nah, I don't believe that at all. I steelhead fished in the Salmon River in the middle of winter in upstate New York, so it's cold,
I thought
and
red was
they chew.
Pretty funny.
Nathan,
Yeah.
his comment is, I thought red hooks was for old timers so that they could see the hook. Yeah, it might be. It
I
might
get
be.
stuck.
Could be.
Yeah.
It might
Could
be.
be.
Now, but with bass, though, I mean,
Yeah.
oh
I
no,
mean,
I was saying, yeah. So
yeah,
you were
yeah.
fishing up there, and you got into the bass. Is that what you're getting into?
Well,
Or
a
just fish in general?
steelhead, but even our club fishes all year round
12 months,
and 12 months. And, we've gone to Logan Martin last year. It was cold
Yeah.
and we wore them out.
Is there a certain temperature though that when a bass does shut down, as far as
Well, they don't bite as much when it gets below 40 degrees.
so
But
40?
up down to like 40 degrees, they fish bite good in the wintertime.
Well, that's the thing. I think that is, and this is just me growing up in the farm pond kind of country world. You fished from when the dogwoods start blooming till September, but we didn't fish in the wintertime. But now you get on these big lakes, and that's when they catch the big ones.
Yeah.
But that is a very common misconception, I think, in the fishing world amongst people that don't get out and fish seriously on
I got
big
a
lakes.
question for you though. If you still fish shallow when
Yeah.
it's super, super cold.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because
Oh, yeah.
I've been wanting to pick your brain, by the way.
Well,
I
pick
mean,
it for a
God.
second. No, let's pick it. Yeah, go ahead.
but I mean, so
Well,
you're
Justin says it right there. He's like, remember, Sal, when I took you up north in pure cold winter and caught a lip and a few foot of water?
who's this?
Justin,
Butler.
Oh, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Paul had it pulled up there for a second.
Well,
Okay, there it is.
it's like Ryan always says. There's fish that stay shallow year round, and there's fish that are deep year round, and then there's those that go between.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always resident fish. But what about you, James? You ever had any luck? In cold water.
I had a decent winter.
I actually think the winter bite's better than the middle of the summer bite.
I
That's
would
just
agree
me.
with that.
Less pressure.
Yeah, I would
Less
definitely agree with
chaos.
that.
Less wakeboard boats.
Funner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Funner.
Ring the bell.
I mean, honestly,
Funner.
it just funner or whatever, however you want to say it. I mean, I've just noticed from this year that
It's
the
not
fish,
horny
to me,
buzz bait fun, but it's still fun.
it's not. But
Still get bit.
I got more consistent bites in January, February, March when it was really cold around here than I did in June, July, August. It could just be the way I fish, but but the perception is amongst the general populace when it's cold, you're the crazy one out there fishing.
Perfect.
I'll wear that title. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I like winter because all the big boats are gone. That's that's
Absolutely.
seriously,
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
it is honestly.
What do you want to pick my brain about?
Well, no, I mean, you fish shallow all year round, and I mean, and I just started fishing deep in linear, this year or this past winter,
Yeah.
And I just the horny toad thing it does surprise me, and I've heard Chris Guyton talk about it. Did I pronounce that right? Gayton.
Yeah.
I've heard him talk about the horny toad, but I'm just interested. I mean, do you just pick a short section of the bank, or do you run the whole bank? I mean, obviously you do it a lot. So I mean, I don't fish a horny toad, and I know I should. It's fun. I mean, come on, it's top water. There's a lot of questions in there.
Yeah.
One at a time. Sal.
Yeah.
One at a time.
I'm excited.
So for anybody watching and for you, so I don't just drop the trolling motor and start going down the bank.
Okay.
I don't beat the bank.
Okay.
I know I've had a few people's like, so you really just beat the bank? No, I don't really beat the bank.
Okay.
I fish very specific high percentage areas shallow.
Okay.
I want to maximize the highest percentage that I can possibly get where a fish should be. That's shallow.
Okay.
So wood, shallow docks. I start with the last dock in the back is where I start. And then I work my way out.
Okay.
Depending upon the time of the year. Wood is extremely important on any lake that you fish, especially on the near. Wood is king if you're going to fish shallow. And anybody who wants to try to learn how to fish shallow, you need to fish wood. Wood is extremely important. They live on it year round.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of an entire ecosystem lives in a blowdown.
Yeah.
You got crappie, you got brim, you got crawfish, you got minnows, you've got vegetation, you've got algae, you've got everything that all fish need. So naturally, the predators and the top of the food chain go the same way with wood.
Yum. That's right.
Yum.
Yeah, exactly. Yum. And but it's very specific, and you got to cover a lot of water to go into it to figure out what the specifics are. But when I figure out what the specifics are, I only focus on that. I ignore everything else.
Gotcha.
Okay. I don't care about anything else.
And I'll say this, just from fishing with them, that doesn't apply just to the horny toad.
Mm-hmm.
Spinnerbait,
Jig.
I mean that's what he.
Yeah.
And I've seen it just throwing over. Yeah. So I mean,
jig fishing.
But and also too, they not only do they relate to the structure and all that, but they relate, like you said, year round. So when it's cold, they might just tighten up on it. When it's hot, they might just be off of it a little bit. But yeah, that's what he does. I mean, I can firsthand attest to that.
Okay.
So
all right.
And it can't be too shallow. I've seen him catch fish in 6 inches of water that you would look back and you're looking back at it and you're like, I don't even see brim. And he'll throw it back there and he's bringing it out. And you're like, oh, hurry up, Ryan. And all of a sudden, kabloosh. You're like, where in the heck did that fish come from?
Yeah.
No, you don't see him till they bite it.
You don't see him and that's what's exciting about it. And people are like, why you letting him go way back there? Because I mean, like, he might get blowed up on. I'd enjoy seeing that too. You know? So
it says boat, by the way.
It is his
He
boat.
can go where he wants to.
He does, absolutely.
It's true.
All right, and on that extreme
Thank
cold,
you for that. I appreciate it.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we will. So and on that note, bass won't bite in extreme clear or dirty water. Right.
Peanut gallery back here.
Yeah. So I mean, any of you, like, I mean, what experience you got in really dirty water and stuff like that?
Well, our club president loves dirty water.
Yeah.
Dirtier the better, he says. He doesn't care. It can be just about straight mud, and he always seems to do pretty well with it. With clear, I've got my PB out of Lake Burton, which is extremely clear.
It is.
And so, but yeah, they'll bite. I mean, you may have to go a little bit more finessey with it, but
Right.
Yeah.
I want to jump on the comment right there by Nathan Dung. His comment is fish are fast. I've seen them come up 30 foot in a blink. And with that said, somewhere on here I got a note. Check this out. All right, let's see. Where is it at? I know I put it on here.
Hey, while you're looking, do you mind
here.
if I just give a little shout out to my grandsons?
Absolutely. Go ahead. I got
Noah, Kyle, and Jesse. I love you boys. I'm looking forward to spending a weekend with the three of you guys. Knox, you don't know I'm on YouTube right now, but I love you boys. Thank you so much, Danny. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
To my buddies.
You're welcome. Absolutely. So this is playing off of Nathan's comment. This is a fish fact that I found out, and it kind of surprised me. And we're talking largemouth. Largemouth bass swim at 2.5 times their body length per second. 2.5 times their body length per second is the top speed of a largemouth bass. Now, spots, that might be a little bit quicker. So if you got a 15-inch bass, in 1 second, he can cover basically 45 inches of water.
Yeah, well, no, not 45.
Well,
2.5.
2.5, so that's 30. No, so it'd be
that's
37.
37 inches.
So 37, so 3 feet of water in a second. Now, that's a largemouth bass. That is the acceleration. That is the top acceleration of a largemouth bass. 2.5 times their body length per second.
Wow. I mean, honestly, that just seems slow to me.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty quick. Hell, I can't move that fast.
Well,
You're not a largemouth bass.
That's true.
I'm not. But largemouth, you would think, is the sluggish of the two bass, which makes a spot probably a lot faster.
Paul, you can attest to this. Those smallies in 4 foot of water, they're moving. I mean, they're crazy, but no, I think that's. I don't.
You think
I
that's slow?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's slow.
All right, well, there you go. There you go. You don't necessarily have to agree with it.
They've got to have the burst, right, to ambush.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, 3 feet in a second is pretty quick if you look at it that way. So if you're sitting on a log and a horny toad comes across, that bass can be 3 foot away, and within a second, a blink of an eye, he can be on it. So it is quick, but I do see what you're saying. I mean, I guess we would just have to visualize it. And you know what? Whoever wrote that fact down might be just full of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's get to this one, especially since we mentioned boat traffic and all. Noise scares bass as well as boat traffic. Any of y'all?
So
Nah, go ahead.
I
Kind of.
maybe to an extent, but
Yeah.
like you take a lake like Lanier. I mean, especially in the summertime. I mean, it's constant traffic, right? So
Mhm.
I mean, I think at some point they just kind of get accustomed to it, and they just this is my environment now.
Right.
And then hey, look, a meal. Well, I mean, they're still gonna bite. Now, when like Ryan, if you want to get dirt shallow and say it's in the springtime during the spawn or something like that, and you want to turn your drafts off, something like that, they might hear the pinging. I mean, we've all talked about that before.
Right.
Turn that off, kill the noise. If you've got anchors, drop them, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's got some truth to it, but I don't think it's the end all be all.
Yeah, what about you, Ryan?
Yeah, schooled up. Fish are more comfortable in schools. We all know that because they group up. I think the fish that live in that kind of environment where noise and Miley Cyrus and Kesha banging on the dock or on
Kesha
the boat.
here.
I think they're used to that kind of stuff because it doesn't really bother them.
Yeah.
Pressure wise, that's a whole different conversation that we will not go down that rabbit hole because we will be sitting here for the next hour.
Let me hit them comments real quick.
Go
First
ahead.
of all, Jeremiah, if you want Ryan Italians for custom jigs, you need to message him on Facebook. Scratch fishing, that's a 13-second 40-yard dash. They're much faster than 3 feet per second.
Yeah, I would think so.
Hey, what they school me? Hell, I just wrote the things down and y'all were discussing them.
Yep.
I am just the provider of the
Now,
information.
here's one more aspect to that may just be referring to their initial acceleration. Like once they get moving, they're probably a heck of a lot.
They might be. They might be.
So
it did not say whether it was from a dead stop or not.
From a drag racer.
From a drag racer perspective.
From a
Now,
dead.
Harmon says boat traffic and waves turn on the fish like crazy on the near.
It's because it moves the bait.
Moves the bait.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And my initial reaction when somebody's running over a brush pile that I'm casting to is like, yeah, you know, but then, you know, I always cast right behind them. And
I love it. I'm like, come closer. Come closer.
I think that's true.
you know, and they kick the bait around.
Yeah.
I think that's true, but I've also seen them go across a point we've been fishing, and you weren't happy about that, though.
Yeah, a little bit different scenario.
A little
time of
different
the year.
scenario. So, yeah, let's just put question of the week. How fast does a bass run a 40? Hey, I don't know.
Maybe
You
next
stick
week.
a GoPro on one and see how fast it moves.
Oh, you know, they do that. I've seen that on
Well,
YouTube.
how you going? Yeah, I mean,
I don't like that. I don't like that, Danny. I don't.
I
I don't like it,
I'm not
man.
crazy about that.
Or doing it to a turtle. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess a turtle's
Do
different.
you get
I'm a little bit-
the soft spot coming in your
I do,
fish?
man. I don't like killing anything. You know, I want to go back and watch the hunt thing from earlier today that you had on.
We kill stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll eat them.
I mean, yeah.
I'll eat it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
we will do. We need a bass combine. That would be pretty cool.
that would be
Yeah,
cool.
we'll have some tests and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
what Jeremiah says.
on a
The
windy,
shallow
foul weather
fishing
day,
one-
I don't think they care as much. It might be.
I try
Yeah,
to be as quiet as I can.
you do. I mean, and you know, but I've heard a lot of people, a lot of pros that we know say that when they get shallow, they cut their grass off, stuff like that, just because the fish are used to the pinging, but you don't want to let them know you're there as much as possible. That's
Mhm.
kind of what they're thinking.
Well, it's like the closer a deer gets to you, the less you want to.
Move around.
You don't want to open up your Diet Pepsi. Oh, there's a deer.
No. Yeah, no, you
I'm
don't
gonna take
do
a swig
that.
of my Pepsi.
You don't
I'll
do
pull
that.
back on it.
You don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a lot of great stories about that. You don't pee in a bottle too, you know, in the stand because they're right. That's when they always will show
They
up.
always show up.
Always show
Nice.
up. Always show up. All right, how about this one? And this might be a pretty interesting topic. Never harvest or actually catch a fish while pre-fishing a tournament. So basically, don't burn your spots out.
Burning your spot is different than catching a fish off the spot.
Now you got mad at me.
Oh,
Here we go. Here we go.
This is funny. So we were pre-fishing state last year. Remember the riprap?
Yeah.
And I had a whopper plopper on. I was in the back of his boat.
I was mad at him.
Well, you were like, stop catching the fish. I'm like, I'm not setting the hook. I'm just letting them do they're just, dang it. All right.
Why wouldn't you just take the hooks off of it? then?
he don't know the old adage of
Didn't have
you
time.
get 2 bites on a bait, and it's like, well, time to put that down, does he? When
Nope.
you're practicing.
No, hey, I'm still early in it, man. So I'm learning.
You're learning. Yeah, that's
But-
right.
You're
We're all
learning.
That's
I
right. But
will
all
say
learning.
I've learned
we're
a lot.
always if you ever stop learning, you need to get out of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
But what about you, Sal?
All right. What was the question again?
When you're pre-fishing a tournament,
Yes.
do you catch or harvest or however you want to say it, fish? You hook
You
'em.
know, yeah, I'll, you know, if I'm just starting off, I don't have a pattern yet, right? So, you know, I'm gonna try to catch and try to figure out what the pattern is if I'm practicing for a tournament or something like that. So, once I feel like I have something, you know, figured out, I may take hooks off. I may, you know, not set the hook and shake them off, but I want to find those same areas, those high percentage areas that, you know, Ryan was talking about. And, you know, and then I will not pull them in the boat. You know, I mean, yeah, you want to see what's there, right? Deep down inside, when you set that hook, you want to see what kind of fish, what quality fish are there.
Right.
But I'm a proponent for, I don't like catching and harvesting
Okay.
fish once I have a pattern.
Okay.
But until that happens, I don't know. I gotta, you know, I don't know
Oh,
what's
hey,
going
listen,
on.
I understand it. Couple of good comments up there. First, go to fishing days. I think that was pretty interesting. I also believe braid is loud underwater. All right.
Hmm.
Interesting
I've heard
take. Well,
Well, I can hear it on my line guides. I'll tell you that. But it may just be the type of rate I'm using.
well, let
I-
me ask you that. Can Nate, and we can go straight to Nathan's question too, because I think it's going to tie in with the question. He says, "Does fish hear or feel vibrations?" Actually, if you go back and watch the podcast that we did with Shannon Gorman, bass actually have ears. They're not protruding out like us. They actually have two canals, something like that, on the top of their head that does absorb. They feel it in their lateral lines, but they can hear with an olfactory. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Olfactory's nose.
Oh, that's nose. Well, what the hell's ears?
Auditory.
Auditory.
Okay, so they have two auditory devices somewhere up in this area right there. Now, I do remember him saying that. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to take his word at it since he's a biologist.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but actually fish can hear and they feel vibration.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, they use both of them equally into, one probably triggers the other, or maybe even the lateral line runs up through the ears and they, kind of like our eardrum does. I don't know how it works, but I do know he said that they can hear. They can smell too. I ain't figured that one out either, but he said, same thing, just, designed differently than ours, but that's what he said. So I do remember that. But I would think going on that if your braid is vibrating on your guides when you're reeling it, that's got to transfer out into the line. Something, it might not be strong or loud, but I imagine whatever vibration you're getting, it's like a guitar string on one end's got to go to the other.
Yeah.
Or if you're fishing like laydowns and things, I mean, even if you're not reeling, if you're just
what about line coming across like a piece of wood?
You can definitely hear that. I can
They
hear it.
love eating baits with line coming over the top of wood.
They do for some reason,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
My comment to this is, if that's the way it is, then how the hell do we catch fish out of mats?
Don't ask me. I don't know. I mean,
I'm saying,
straight into
because you're not about to throw 25-pound fluorocarbon inside a grass mat.
No,
you'll never see that damn fish.
No.
But you got to throw braid.
So is that more of a reaction type bite though?
At times, but no, not all the time.
I like Jeremiah's comment. Actually, native Indians would use catfish ear bones as tools, I think.
Huh.
Now I don't know what kind of
where did you come up with this stuff?
Jeremiah reads.
I tell you what, he's a smart dude.
He
I'm
reads a lot.
not gonna. I don't care.
I'm not being negative.
He could lie to me, and I'd still probably believe it because I know how much he does.
Yeah, he could sell sand in the desert to
but
me.
Here's my question: you got to get a big ass catfish to get a tool worth doing something. So I don't know what is. I mean, that's a micro tool. You know, maybe they used it to carve something. I don't know, but anyway, Jeremiah, maybe you can expound. I wish expound on that. I don't know. And so here we're Jeremiah again. Fish have a set of 4 nostrils, 2 for intake, 2 for output. Bass actually have a more acute sense of smell than a bloodhound. More nasal folds inside.
Huh.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
This is one of the great things about this show in the comment section. You do learn stuff from time to time. Yeah. And again, that sounds really, now I don't know about the bloodhound part, but that does sound something similar to kind of what Shan was saying in the thing. And also catfish actually have taste buds in their side skin. They can actually taste through their skin.
They taste the water.
Mm-hmm. The water
That's
somehow,
so cool.
I don't, and again, people, they get paid a lot more to figure that out than I do.
Yeah, right.
But it's true that a catfish can sit and something behind it, if it hits any part of its skin, it can smell it through its skin.
I'm glad I don't have that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh no.
And I guess that goes with the smell stuff. Like I have never figured out why people use garlic scented baits, because what in the hell in the water smells like garlic? But people will absolutely swear by garlic scented baits.
I used to use garlic. I don't use it anymore because everybody else does.
So you try something a little bit different, or do you let me ask you that. I'll ask all you that. Do you use scents?
On occasion.
Okay, what kind do you use?
About half the time, I'd say.
Proprietary.
No, okay.
No, actually,
Absolutely.
No, you don't have to.
I've tried a couple different ones. I've used the Game Fish, Spike It. I've used the bait fuel. I've tried that. Don't know if it really made that much of a difference, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've tried it.
Bassmaster Jim, we spaghetti Nathan, that's a good comment. Actually, we do use the JJ's Magic scent in the garlic, but I use it more for the color. That chartreuse, I like chartreuse. You like chartreuse, but the garlic still. I mean, I don't know what it is that attracts them. You would think the crawfish.
But there's only one kind that I use.
That's the only kind.
Well, I mean, I don't buy. In terms of the orange and the red and the chartreuse and the clear, it's always garlic scent.
It is, but I just find that interesting that
Yeah.
somebody there's always somebody has a thought. This is how everything in the world's ever created. At sometimes somebody has to think of something, and at some time there was a fisherman goes, hell, let's throw some garlic on this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's how I had to do it. You know, somebody had to think it. What about bait fuel? That thing kind of started with a flurry, and it's kind of
exploded.
and it's kind of seems to me like it's kind of died out a little bit. Anything you use that?
I don't. I've never tried it.
That is it may be great, but that is the greasiest stuff I've ever put in my hand.
Yeah.
That makes
It is.
KY jelly like sandpaper. That's how slick that stuff is. Is it not? Huh?
Yum,
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
Yeah.
Yum yum.
I put some in a pack of worms, and I could not hold the worm to actually thread it on
Yeah.
to
Screw
the
lock.
to the
Yeah.
screw lock. I honestly could not hold it. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is absolutely the greasiest stuff.
Does it stay like that? Does it eventually
It's-
obviously
it's
all the rest?
water based, so eventually it will
okay.
dissipate a little
It
bit.
does, but I
Yeah.
mean, getting it right out of the bag, that stuff is really greasy.
It is.
Can you use it with Z-Man baits? Have you tried it with Z-Man?
What is the deal with that on Ryan? Can you use that in conjunction with Z-Man?
What?
Like the Elastec
What?
bait?
JJ's?
No, bait fuel or any.
Oh, I don't know.
Because
I know
like,
you can't. You can use Spike It with Elastec,
Okay.
but I challenge you to put it in JJ's.
What happened?
It,
It
Like,
disintegrates.
it melts in
Instant
your hand.
goo.
It does.
turns into
It
goo.
does. So, and I guess that was what Nathan was talking about. Tim White, somebody had to definitely be the first. That's true in everything. I mean, in anything that's ever been created by man, somebody it has to be a thought first.
Yeah.
So somebody, hell, let's stick some garlic on this thing and see what happens.
Bet you was Italian.
Probably.
Now listen,
Probably had it in
we
the boat.
don't on this show we don't talk about people's ethnicity and stuff like that. So I'm not going to make fun of Italian people.
No, I'm not
Nobody's
making fun of
making
them.
fun.
Probably the
I am
Japs.
one.
No, I'm sorry, I did that for
Manja.
Manja. Okay, yeah, what? Okay, so, yes. All right. Good night, Harold Grizzly. He's going to get some rest. So we appreciate you joining us for that. So, yes, on the bait fuel and Z-Man, Scotty Edwards. So we appreciate that comment as well. Scratch Fishing as well says you can. So again, but I do. I like to put a bag of Z-Man, like Danny
Forget
did.
about it.
Yeah, let's see. Dries
Forget
up the same and
about it.
does impact the bait. Okay.
LJ.
I can't say it with a southern accent.
Can-
Forget about it.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
It
not
just
going to
doesn't
read.
work.
Listen, I'm not going to read Steve Pinkston's comment on air, but I'm going to say right there, absolutely yes. I would say absolutely yes. And so, for those of you listening,
Well, for a
unfortunately,
Again, it's water based.
it is
the guy
water
with the
based.
sand.
It
With the great
is-
nuts.
it is an adult-oriented insinuation that probably would work very well. I would just say that. So, okay, so let's jump on the next one.
Ain't about that crawfish.
Ain't about that crawfish, but hey, lots of things smell like tuna. Never have the net out before the first cast.
Oh hell no! You got to dip the net before. If you got a net,
Oh, whoa.
you got to dip with the
Okay,
net
see,
before you even cast.
Listen, so that comes up to another one. I wrote that down. Guy says, always dip the net to start the day.
Absolutely.
So you dip your net,
I don't carry a net,
but if you did,
but if I did, it would be dipped before I even do anything because my dad did it. His buddies did it. Like they all did it. Like they will not. They'll put the rod in their hand, but that bait will not touch that water until they dip the net. And sometimes they say, some good words to the good Lord.
yes.
Sometimes they'll make a comment that gets the boat laughing, but
Right.
they always dip that net in water first.
Have you ever heard that, Ryan?
No.
No, I hadn't heard it till
I'm
today.
not that superstitious.
Yeah, I'm not either. What about you?
That's negative.
Negative you.
Uh-uh.
But okay,
That's
so
like never. That's like never catch. That's like never catch a fish on your first cast.
Right.
well, that was coming up.
People's like
That was coming up.
Yeah.
That was coming up. But so we got one guy that's one thing says the myth is never have the net out before the first cast, and the other myth or whether or insinuation is dip the net before the first cast. So you are of the dip the net.
I am a dipper,
Oh,
Get
you
it
are a
real
dipper.
before you play with it.
but I don't
Alright.
use a net.
All right, Facebook user that says long time no see. Hey, put your name in there or go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and enter your name in there so we can address you as something other than Facebook user. Nathan Dung, I don't get the net out to the first fish is in. And that was another one, and it's somewhere in here. Don't put water in your live wells until you catch a fish.
Well,
Yes or no?
if your boat's slow like mine, Yes, because every pound counts.
Okay. What? No,
So,
seriously.
But as far as the superstition goes, not really.
Okay. What about you? You filling them up quick or what?
Half the time I leave the plugs out of the darn thing, so it fills up on its own.
That's true. And again, too, what about if you got ice and stuff? Now, when you have ice in a thing, do you fill it full of water already?
I'll fill it halfway.
Halfway. What
Yep.
about you?
Well, I have my
procedure.
procedure.
And what is your procedure?
Close plugs up or put plugs in, get to the gas station, put some ice in it, and leave it in there. I try to get it there about an hour early before the tournament, so that way the walls of my live well will get cool.
Okay, like pre-icing the
Like
cooler.
pre-icing the cooler, and then when I get to my first, typically
Yep.
when I get to the first spot, then I fill
All
up
right,
the live
Jace.
well.
All right.
Appreciate you joining us tonight,
Yeah.
buddy. And I appreciate you coming and doing the Hunt North Georgia episode that we did earlier
It's
today.
like the banana and the boat.
Hey,
the
would
beef
you
jerky
quit?
till the first keeper.
Would you please quit? I'm going to do the
Well,
banana.
People are.
I know, but Tim White never filled the live well before the tournament starts. And then always have enough water for the first keeper. So it's funny.
Yeah.
You got, in everything, you got two camps.
Yep.
Two camps. Fishing fact. I'm going to let you guys guess it first. And any of you guys that are watching, you can always, let's see, Bassmaster. We'll do this question first. Who do you think will win the BFL?
What?
I'm rooting for Brett Matthews because he's just a good guy.
We like Brett.
Yeah.
Local guy.
Yeah.
Is Jim Farmer fishing that one as well? Is Farmer fishing at BFL?
I don't know.
Paul Marks?
I think his
Is-
boat left Baldridge.
It does sometimes, I guess. I think he's a co-angler.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he does the co-angling thing on the BFL. Will Paul Marks Jr. be in it?
I'm sure.
Is this on Lanier?
Probably.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say my money. Emil Wagner. Yeah, that's a good guess
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Now, I actually talked to Emil yesterday about him coming up and doing an episode with us, and he said yes.
Awesome.
So here in the near future, we're going to have Emil Wagner on the
What
show.
people think the winning weight would be.
That would be interesting.
I haven't been out there. How's it been fishing? Tough.
Yeah.
The weights
Yes.
are not what they were earlier in the year for sure.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying a guy won't come in with 23 pounds
Yeah.
because it always can happen, but I would say if you come in with 18,
You stand a chance.
you're doing really good.
Yeah.
Right now, you've had a hell of a day if you hit 18 pounds.
You do it 2 days in a row though.
That's true.
Yep.
So I would the over under right now, and we can play this and remember it too. The over under on the BFL 2 days 37. Over under.
Under.
I think it's under.
What do you think, Sal? Over under 37 on the BFL.
I mean, there's a lot of boats, so I'm going to say I think that's low.
So you're gonna go with over.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, I like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of boats.
If you
a lot
go
of
over
fishing.
37 pounds though, 2 days, you've had 2 good days on Lanier.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, and the weather cooling off slightly might help the bite as well. We're not in that dog day.
I hope so.
Emil had 3 for 13 last week, so that's
I had 3 for 14 back in spring.
you did. All right, so here,
But this is. No, we'll go into it.
okay, we won't go into it. So here's a fact, but I want you guys to guess it first, and you guys are welcome to play along. Largemouth bass were first discovered in blank by the French in blank, and it is in America. So I mean, what year was the largemouth bass discovered in the United States? And of course, it wasn't the United States at this time. And by who?
I ain't got a clue.
Did you say who did you say it was?
The French.
You just said French.
The French. The French discovered the largemouth bass
Was
in
Columbus
North
French?
America. He was a Spaniard, I think.
I'm gonna say though, if it's the French, I'm gonna say it's either in Louisiana or Mississippi was where they were discovered though.
Yeah.
Just based upon
1492.
Yep, nope, you're too early. He's guessing 1502. And it was not in Louisiana, but good guess.
Canada.
No,
Hey.
actually, listen to this.
Hey,
Hey, largemouth bass were first discovered in 1562 by the French in Florida.
Oh.
By the French in Florida.
okay.
1562.
French are famous for exploring.
Mm-hmm. Ponce de Leon probably did it. Hey, look at that big fish. Hey, look at that big fish. I can't.
Ponce
I don't even know what the
de
hell he
Leon.
was.
He was
I don't know.
Spanish.
Listen,
Juan Ponce de Leon. I am the Frenchman. Ponce de Leon.
listen. He's an old dead man's all I know like that. So, Fountain of
Fair
Youth,
point.
1562 in Florida. Harmon got it. He Googled. He probably got Corey right beside him Googling. You can tell Corey right there. We're going to take that.
Corey
belt from
shook
him.
his baby rattle on
Shook his
ass.
baby rattle.
Hey, I think James and I have somebody who can really compete with that man with the tacos.
oh
Who
my
was that?
God.
Redbeard.
Who the hell's that?
It's a buddy of ours.
James Richardson.
James. He
Oh,
owns,
I know that name. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't
he
know-
owns 1776.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that boy can eat.
Well, Nathan Skinner said that he could do 20 and 3 beers is what I heard. 20 tacos and 3 beers. All I know is I'm not going to sit by him the next day.
No,
You know, like that. So anyway,
I think you still give him a run though.
I
He'd give him a run.
I mean, they're not.
if
the
he
tacos
holds
aren't-
off on the margaritas.
Well,
give him a run.
that's the problem.
listen, but the problem is, and I'm sorry, to me, now this is going to sound sacrilegious or whatever, but I think a Taco Bell soft taco tastes better than a regular soft taco from a real Mexican restaurant. It's just, I think those real ones are dry.
Yeah,
It's just not for me.
But that's not real meat.
that's why it tastes better.
Hey, it is. Jeremiah's got a pretty cool thing, and I did know this, that you can tell the age of a fish by looking at the rings on its scales like a tree. That is another thing that Shannon Gorman, actually, that's how they will age a fish. They will pull scales off, and under a microscope, they'll look, and they
They'll
can
look at
count
it.
the rings.
Yeah.
They age just like a tree.
Nice.
Yeah,
Some more
see, there
weight.
you go. Huh?
Some more weight to add.
What
to
are you
the-
yawning for?
More weight to add to the boat.
And like this, just
Hold on, let me get my microscope out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I got it in here somewhere.
yeah, right. Just like when the rings are like a tree. When the rings are close, it had a
Animals have
short.
3 eyelids.
It had a short growing season. Wider rings apart indicate more growth during that. And I'm gonna give you another fact while we're at it.
That makes sense.
While we're at it, listen to this. And again, they're talking largemouth bass. I would assume it's close for spots too. Largemouth bass need to consume 10 pounds of forage to gain 1 pound of body weight.
Okay.
10 pounds of forage to gain, and that's assuming that they do no activity. That I would assume, because they're expending calories swimming and
Yeah,
stuff.
swimming.
But 10 pounds of forage equals 1 pound of body weight on a largemouth bass. Maybe it's to gain or maintain. I don't know. That was just a fact in that I looked up on the internet. It is on the internet, so I can't verify
you
it.
have to believe it.
So it must be true.
It
Yeah,
was
it
on
must be
it
true.
was-
Your
I
French
tell you-
model. Yeah.
I tell you where I got it from Wire to Fish.
Okay.
So that's pretty
Well,
reputable.
I mean, yeah, definitely reputable.
And but again, that to me is like
That sounds like to maintain.
to maintain 1
Maybe.
pound. Wouldn't it sound like that? But that's
That's a lot.
That's a
that's
That's
a lot
a
of
lot.
poop to only get 1 pound. But
right.
maybe but if you're thinking that's taking into account of energy, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, but that was,
Expended
I
calories
just
and
I
stuff.
saw that and I said, that's pretty interesting. So,
Yeah, I believe that.
yeah, okay. So how about this? All right, this is an old
Danny
wives'
is
tale.
playing Alex Trebek.
I am. This is Jeopardy. All right, hey, listen, you got to do your answers in the form of a question. Give you the answer.
Oh, boy. I'm not.
No, we'll do that on the next one. So here's an old wives' tale. Never predict the day before launching. Never predict the day before launching. Never say I'm going to go out and catch 37 fish.
Oh.
Never predict the day before launching. And I'll say this: I saw that and I thought, kind of,
superstitious
it's-
mofos.
it's very
Yeah.
it's very superstitious. But how many times have all of us said, "Hey, I'm on them. I know that." You take a buddy, or I know this lake they're biting. You take a buddy, you go there, and you zero, or it's awful.
About once a month.
Yeah. So, but I mean, but never
Call me the
predict.
one fish wonder.
That is old wives' tale. Never predict the day before launching. Do you have anything like that?
Nah, I don't care.
Any of you guys? Huh? No.
Nah.
Not so much as a superstition, more so as like a clarity of mind kind of thing. Just kind of focus on what's in front of you instead of worrying about all the other stuff.
So we're gonna get our Zen on. and
Absolutely, yeah.
Namaste.
Meditate, and
stuff.
then
We're gonna get it. We're
Chuck
gonna
Rivers
we're
let it
gonna
go.
use our chi.
Yeah.
Namaste.
We're gonna direct all of our energy in a
Ki.
positive. Is it ki or chi?
Ki.
I'm not. I
energy.
almost said it. I'm not one of those, so I don't know. I don't want to offend nobody. I just found out you were a Yankee, so
I am.
you are, but you eat grits.
I
So
do.
there you go. So you're Southernized. All right. So we
And I eat
did
at
we did that
Waffle House.
page.
Close
Here we go.
enough. Yeah.
All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and jump on this one. The
Should
bananas.
pick that up later.
Yeah, we will. I know. The bananas. Why in the hell is it bad luck to have a banana on your boat?
Somebody told me, and it actually made sense, and I completely forgot.
You know,
That's a great answer.
Hey,
That's a great answer.
I never heard about that until
I know why. and
I
I'll-
went
I'll
on
explain to
vacation
you.
with my wife and we got a charter and the fish, it was dead calm, and we are not catching anything. I got hungry. I reached into my bag. I pulled out a banana. The captain saw me. He was Madder than hell.
Yes. Yes.
He was mad. And then to come to find out, on my receipt for that guided trip, it says no bananas. I had no idea. I never heard that before. And I was
Okay.
on vacation with my wife.
Big deal.
Now let me tell
It was
you.
crazy.
Let me tell you what I read.
After the banana was gone, did it turn around?
Nope.
Nope.
Screwed for the day.
Nope. They
the
made
whole
me
day.
throw the other one in the water.
The banana in the
So
tailpipe.
how's
that's
that
a
going to
good
help
one.
the situation? If it doesn't work in a boat, how's it going to work when
Now,
it's floating in the
on
water?
the opposite though, for anglers and swingers, pineapples are good.
But
Upside down.
Upside down pineapples. But seriously, no, look, seriously, it said bananas are bad, pineapples are good.
Well, the Pinwheel has pineapples on his boat and wicked tuna.
Okay, why is a pineapple good? I don't know why pineapple's good. I can tell you why the bananas. What I read about the bananas.
It doesn't attract like deadly spiders or something.
Okay,
like
so
that.
yeah, so there's several theories behind it.
Tarantulas.
Tarantulas.
Yeah.
So here's the theory behind the banana based upon old sailors and stuff. Number one, long trips, they thought poisonous spiders would infest the bananas and kill the crew. They also, banana peels are slippery, and they didn't want them thrown on the boat. People
Okay.
would fall off. I think that and somebody just put in there. Another thing was the sailors, when they were sailing out, if they had a load of bananas, the ship had to go super fast or the bananas would spoil and all that.
Right.
The sailors trying to catch fish to survive the trip hated it because the boat was moving too fast for them to troll for anything. Now here's the most interesting one of all of them. The upside down pineapples are great. Yeah, Tim White, I knew somebody would do that for sure. Bananas are good for memory. Absolutely. The irony is I'm mildly allergic to banana, and pineapple is my favorite fruit. Hey, well, there you go. But here's the thing when bananas were put down under the deck, yeah,
First time I've ever heard that one, dude.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it. I used to shave. Are you like bald or do you shave? I mean,
Shave it.
you shave it.
Yeah.
Could you grow a
Yeah.
full set of hair?
No.
I used to, when I could grow a full set, I would shave it. I mean, with a razor, just like that. Now that I can't on top anymore, I'm losing it. I'm getting that old, 10th grade
Power
science,
Alley's
Power Alley, 10th grade,
That's right.
10th
Yeah.
grade science teacher. I think I'm getting ready to shave mine again.
Was it
Come on.
was it Clark's Hill? We had a boat yell out, put your hat on, James,
No,
or something.
it was Casey. It was
was
in your
Casey.
boat. Yeah, we were on.
Oh, you were with Ryan. You were with Ryan.
So yeah, it must have been Clark Hill then.
Yeah,
because I
it was.
did second day with him. I think.
Well, I
Yeah.
can see it being bright.
Yeah.
I can see it. I mean, it looks good on you, though. It looks good on you. Here was the most interesting thing about bananas. When you put it under the deck on a long voyage and they would start rotting, they would actually give off methane gas. Methane gas would get trapped under the deck of a sealed boat and could potentially kill the crew. Now,
Interesting.
again, every one of these examples are from like
Way back.
Oh,
back
yeah.
when.
Yeah.
So I guess they've just carried that as a tradition now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it might have been my cousin or something. I got on a boat with a banana and he started like, you can't have a banana on a boat. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'd never heard about
Some
it.
guys
So
are passionate about that, man.
I've never been shamed so hard in all my life after spending $600 for a fishing trip.
Yeah.
I mean, they made me feel like that big. And we never caught a thing.
and they blame it on the banana.
They pretty much blame.
I
it
would
on a
blame it on the
banana.
captain, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So
banana thing?
we're still on the banana thing. I didn't tell you about the methane gas and all that. I'll tell you later. How about this? Old timers always used to say you got to break in a rod or new equipment. Do you? Yeah, old timers used to say you got to break in a rod. It was, hey, I got to take this rod out and break it in. Now, with today's modern equipment, do the rods need to be broke in? Do you do anything like that with any of your equipment?
How do you break a rod in?
You catch fish,
Yeah.
so just go.
That's how we
Yeah.
would do it. But the way the thing made it sound like was that the older style rods, to get them to flex a little bit, they had to break it in. They had to loosen up the fibers. And I don't know if that's a fiberglass thing.
Even if that was true, you
Am
still
I
gotta
right?
catch something with.
I mean,
I'm a believer in that.
Break it in the rod. You break it in the
I've
rod.
had rods that have gotten softer over time.
Yeah. So there you go.
did you like it better that way?
Ooh. That's kind of a personal question.
I know it.
I
Well,
think it's
beg your
funny
pardon.
because
Do you like it better that way?
But you get used to
I mean, it's all in the application of what you're using.
That's true.
I mean, I definitely for cranking, I like a more parabolic, softer rod. Absolutely, 100%.
But do you think that the rods now? I mean, like Paul's saying, like even with a brand new rod now, over time it loses its whether it's
I've had rods that broke nose.
really. Fishing with Farmer, yeah, you break it in the fish's jaw.
That's what
So,
I'm talking about.
Fishing days, I beat my NRX against the nearest wall before I use it. Hey, there you go. Has anyone used WD-40 as a fish attractant? I heard it worked,
Yep.
but never tried. Interesting question.
Yep.
All right, and why? Why did you use WD-40? What is it about WD-40
It's
that attracts
actually
fish?
made out of fish oils, if I'm correct.
It says it on the back of the can.
Yeah.
It does say it.
Yep. Trolling for salmon on Lake Ontario. We used to squirt the spoons and spray the spoons all the time. Right.
Yeah, Paul perked up back there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I know they say I've heard people say like if your joints hurt, you actually can spray it on your knees and stuff like that.
Nice. I mean, there's a lot of uses.
They said it.
There's
No,
a ton
I'm
of uses for that
I'm
stuff.
not saying that it works.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, I'm coming home stinking.
Yum yum.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Ryan is just doing his best. Like,
Yeah.
dang, Danny, hush. Here's one that's not so much. It's not so much bass, but catfish bite well when it thunders. Old wives' tale.
I had a lot of fish bites.
So you think?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
What is it? And on a local level,
It's more that should be reiterated too. When it thunders, fish hang tight to cover.
I would like you to pull up Neil Scoggins' comment right there. Never heard of WD-40 as a fish attractant, but I know people who use it on their joints with arthritis.
Wow.
So I'm not that far off.
No.
Okay.
Interesting. But so you think it's like if it's thundering, they tighten the cover and stuff like that, making them easier to find, locate, or what?
Well, the old guy, he said, oh, hey, it stormed last night. And I said, why? Well, what does that matter? He said, man, they're going to be tight to the brush. Like, yeah.
Okay.
well, yeah, you're going to have to get it in there and you want to get them to bite.
Well,
and I'm like,
Okay.
all right.
yeah.
You do you, buddy.
You do you, buddy.
So,
Well, let me throw it to you on a more localized level. If you hear people talking on Lake Lanier, every one of them to a person that I've talked to says, if it's snowing, the spots are chewing.
oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
not a myth. That's
Okay.
fact.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
is definitely, especially on Altoona.
Yeah. And Altoona did it. Okay. So here's my question. Why?
It's just such a in order for there to be snow, there's a massive chemical change going on in the sky and the atmosphere, and it directly affects with the barometer and the pressure, and it just
A chemical change?
supposedly when in order with the pressure, the barometric pressure to have snow, apparently that makes the fish's stomachs expand.
Yeah.
And but they go
Nuts.
bonkers in the snow.
Yeah.
I
But
just
in the old days on Lanier, like the biggest stripers of the year always got caught during like ice storms.
Man, I got so many dudes that are like some of the guys I fish against and stuff like that are in some of the clubs. They're talking about like we used to like go to the lake in December when it was a long time ago when it would snow, like in December and January,
mhm.
and they would strictly go spooning for hybrids and white bass. They wouldn't worry about spotted bass or anything. They would go spoon in like 50 feet of water for hybrids and stuff like that. And they were talking about catching like 150, 200 fish.
Goodness.
in the snow.
Yeah, and it'd be snowing.
All right, well, let's jump on Dilly's got a question. Similar to that, does fishing turn on when it rains?
Depends upon time of the year.
Yeah.
I've had some great days in the rain.
Absolutely.
I
Great
would
days.
say I know certain lakes that fish better to me in the rain. Latham to me fishes better in the rain. And I've heard Rocky Mountain, and I've kind of experienced it. Bluebird skies and all that. It's never as good as a cloudy, dreary kind of day. So I don't know if it's the rain itself or if it's like Ryan says, the pressure, the barometric pressure or whatever it's doing. So
Mhm.
how about this one? Don't fish in a west wind. The fish will not bite.
No way.
The
What?
West.
In a
I've
west wind.
I've
Hey,
heard-
listen, guys, listen.
The only time
These are fishing myths. So
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to answer this question. The only time that I dread fishing, the only time I dread it, and I'm not saying it's because I can't catch fish, because I can, but the only time I dread it is in the winter on an east wind that's over 15 mile an hour.
And that's because the way the
That's
waves,
just because it freaking sucks. It's just miserable out there. And it kind of pertains. It's
up,
kind
Michael
of
Temples?
pertains to a Lanier thing.
Yeah.
But it's like you go out there and it sucks.
well, you
It's
said
just
what is it
miserable.
that you always said, and even when I remember you saying this to Beasley, a certain wind on Lanier, if it comes out of a certain
Now,
direction
wind coming out of the northeast, blowing to the southeast
on Lanier,
on Lanier, it depending upon how high the wind gets, it can make Lanier extremely dangerous.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it comes right down that funnel.
It
the
comes
way
straight down. Like when it blows straight down the pipe, it has nothing to stop it, and it just funnels up and goes straight down.
and we
and
had
it
those
make-
like at that Spro
that's-
tournament.
That's
It was
when
like,
you have those days where it's like white capping. Like
Isn't that the one they postponed because of the wind or
they
something?
didn't
no,
even
we
postpone
fished it. We fished it. I fished it with Alex
Postponed
Pierce.
something.
But
He was not a fan.
Jimmy Houston, talking about wind though. Jimmy Houston has to say, and it was like, and well, I don't know if it ain't Jimmy Houston's thing, but Jimmy Houston was the one I remember saying.
Pull up Jeremiah.
Is wind
There
to
it
the
is.
west, the fish bite the best. Wind from the east, fish bite the least. Wind from the south, fish open their mouth. And wind from the north, few vessels go out. It's
Go forth, yeah.
wind from the north, don't venture forth, is what I always heard. But
Yeah.
same thing. But that's pretty much the same thing that Jeremiah said.
Okay, but
I mean, whether or not you base your day upon that,
that's what I was getting ready to say. Is that what Jeremiah just put? Just a saying that has
I'm still
always been
going.
around?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
if I got an opportunity to go,
But
I'm going.
Is that an old wives' tale right there? Is that a myth?
It depends.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
James, can I borrow your mic for a second?
Yeah, come on. I'll share.
Paul has got to get in here. He's got something to say.
Instead of being out in the background.
Come on.
So we were up north in July. We were salmon fishing on the Great Lakes, and wind up there drives temperature changes in a huge way.
I can see that.
So if you get a south wind where we were at, that could drop surface temperatures 15, 20 degrees in a matter of hours.
Wow.
And that north wind could have a swing the opposite direction. And that temp drives everything. Because
Okay.
that positions your bait, that positions your fish.
Mhm.
And to a lesser extent down here, same way, it positions your bait, it positions your fish. Those changes in wind direction can be huge on certain lakes,
Yeah.
especially wintertime down here where just a fraction of a degree, small temp changes can be massive in concentrating your bait and your fish. Like
It
Okay.
seems
there's
like
something to be said for
it
that.
Okay,
seems
yeah,
like
that's a
down
good
here.
comment.
Talking about
Very
what Paul's saying, it seems like down here when the wind blows from the northeast down to the south, down from the southeast in the winter, it's considerably colder than any other day of the week.
Yeah.
It's considerably colder, and it's I don't know, but but Neil said something. I think it was Neil said, "What if Nathan? What if it's blowing from the southeast?"
Yeah. So
If it's blowing from the southeast, that's if you ever been out on Lanier and you've been out in the middle of the lake, on the south end of the lake, and it just looks like the lake is doing this number against each other.
Yeah.
Like this,
Trying to eat itself.
trying
Yeah.
to eat itself.
just
Those-
turning up.
Those
Just-
can be freaking phenomenal days on Lanier because it's like the bait has a hard time trying to figure out where the hell it's
Doesn't
going.
go anywhere. Go
Yeah.
anywhere at all.
I got you. But wind does play a very pivotal role in
It does.
in the fishing. All right, got a fact for you guys. See if you know this one, or see if this one kind of blows your mind a little bit. Though they have been stocked there now, black bass species. So we're going to figure smallmouth, largemouth, I guess spots. I'm sure there's some subvariants, but those three are not native west of the Rocky Mountains.
I've heard that the ones in California are not native
They're
because
not.
they're not actually like.
Black bass species are not native anywhere west of the Rocky Mountains.
Ooh, it's surprising.
Yeah.
Now they're
Yeah.
there, but they're there because we put them there.
Yeah.
But in the
So
grand
is that all trout and char naturally out there?
could be. But but now some of your best lakes, of course, for spots and all that. California's got them and all that.
They've got
that's
some
that's
giants.
biology.
Yeah, but what's interesting is, I just assumed if you had the temperatures for it, bass were everywhere.
Yeah.
But I saw that fact and I thought that's pretty interesting because I would have never thought that they existed only east of the Rocky Mountains.
Different species, different regions. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, I can see it, but I wouldn't have. If you'd have asked me that question,
I probably wouldn't have guessed.
I would not have guessed.
Yeah.
And I definitely. But it's interesting that the Rocky Mountains are the divide between what has.
Geographically, that's a huge.
Well, it's a big area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Rocky Mountain.
well, hey, listen, and if I saw another thing too.
Here's one for you: carp, common carp, not native to the Americas.
Yeah, Carmen
Yeah.
Cop. That's from Asia. Common cops.
You common cops.
Common cops. Common cops, guys.
Yeah,
What-
copper.
What is the difference between a common cop and a non-common cop, Danny?
A non-common cop
Where's
will
Earl?
let me off on a ticket.
Yeah.
The common cop will ring me up every time. Now, both of those, and if you're, I hate to say this, if you're a female with a little bit of endowment, like my wife up top, you never get tickets.
Nope.
Ever get tickets. And you know what? Here's what's funny. And this is going to be my rant for the night. They will fuss about, and I'm not going to say feminism or equal rights, but they'll fuss at us about where our eyeballs go. And I'll walk up to my wife, bless her heart. She's sitting there, and I always like to poke and prod. She's got parts. I like parts.
Oh, Lord.
Like that. But you got to stop that! Quit it! What's wrong with you? Like the first time a cop pulls up, every one of them are like,
Yep.
"What's up, Mister? You know,
Mhm.
how fast was I driving? I'm sorry, it's not right."
couple alligator tears make that happen quick.
That's right. It's alligator teeth. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Or screaming kids in the car. Yeah, I think moms with car seats get away with it a lot too, especially if the kid's just raising hell.
Because
the
the cop
like,
want to hear it.
yeah, he's like,
Like, all right,
yeah, you got it worse than I do.
go.
You go
Just
on.
go.
Go on.
Well, if they're a parent, that's just I get it.
Harmon, yeah, but I'm just saying it's just something I've noticed in my life that none of my wife, she can be going 95 in a 25.
And get out of it.
Ozuna.
She can Ozuna.
Oh!
That's what we're gonna call that from now on.
Ozuna.
A
I'm
very,
Ozuna from the Braves.
yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. But I think that's a super speeder ticket from now on is going to be called an Ozuna.
And it was
We know what yum. We'll
Let's
tell
go.
everybody later what a yum yum is, but that's our new catchphrase. I got a ticket. Did you Ozuna it?
Yeah.
No, it was only 5 over. You know, he was running like 90 something at 35.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
35.
I didn't hear the
Listen.
speed. That's
Listen,
that's
honestly, listen.
And then the cop pulls him over his chest cam. Hey, how are you? And he's like holding out his ID, his Florida ID and his MLB like ID. I'm Ozuna from the Braves. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. Do you have any idea how fast you were going? And he's like, no. And he's like, you're doing 90 in a 45.
Yeah,
or
whatever. It was all
was.
crazy.
And he's like, oh, man. And then Ozuna has the audacity. He's so drunk. He goes, thanks, man.
Yeah, he did.
Appreciate you telling me. He's going, cops like, need you step out of the
Yeah.
vehicle. It's like,
Yeah.
Did he
cops like,
get
you're-
busted?
Oh,
I don't.
oh, you don't come
yeah.
home, baby. Yeah, he got busted.
But he wouldn't blow, so most likely the DUI is going to get thrown out. But he probably will be charged with reckless driving or
Yeah.
reckless endangerment.
Was this recently?
Yeah, a
Yeah,
couple
like
weeks
last
ago.
week.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Now, here's the thing, though.
I'm
Was
just
it
so
last
busy
week?
at work.
Yeah, here's the thing. So they won a game, and they went out and partied apparently afterwards.
Celebration.
Celebration. Okay, but I got an 87 and a 70 on 16. Buddy was hiding on a bridge. That was an expensive mistake. Absolutely. So, but here's the thing. Where did he get pulled over? It was in Atlanta, right? Or was it in,
It was in Norcross.
Norcross?
Or Metro. Yeah.
Metro.
Yeah.
So Norcross at 3 or 4 in the morning. There's nothing else for a cop to do except for looking for somebody flying at 3 or 4 in the morning. So
Somebody being dumb.
very dumb.
Well, drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk and dumb,
Yeah,
but he stuck his hand out like he was going to shake that cop's hand, like the cop was going to say, "Hey, yeah, cool, man, you're going home."
That's
And
terrible.
he got him out of the car,
Yeah.
and he bailed out. They bailed him out. You know, did he show up for the next game or did they have a day off?
Yeah, he
He didn't play,
he
but he
didn't
didn't
play.
play.
Came
But
off and then played the
Yeah.
one after it.
yeah, so but
Or
you know,
dressed.
I mean, it's only a mistake when you get caught. Well, that's true. That is very
Did
true.
you watch the Braves?
Yeah.
How do you not watch? He's from.
Listen,
He's
listen,
a Mets fan. Probably don't
You
want to
don't
say
like
it.
the Yankees' little brother, do you?
Are you a Mets fan?
Hell no.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
okay. Thank God.
All right.
No, and you're welcome, by the way.
All right,
You're
thanks for
welcome,
watching
because
the Livewell, you guys.
My team
We're going to
just-
take a commercial break while we beat the snot out of this guy over here.
My team just beat the Mets a few games for you guys.
You're a Yankee fan.
I am.
Well, that's
I am.
okay. I mean,
I am.
Is it though?
But the thing is like,
compared to the Mets, yes, absolutely. I would rather slam my nads in a toilet lid than to root for the Mets.
yeah,
I'm seriously. I hate it.
I'm
I
not a
hate
big
the Mets.
Mets fan at all. But
And their fans
I used to be
suck.
a big sports guy. I really was until the politics got involved. And then I just decided I'm not going to sit down and watch this this
Jamie
stuff
Payne,
on
I may not
TV.
brag about that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go fish.
I can respect that.
So
I can
that's why I've
respect that.
kind of and it really hasn't gotten into baseball all that much, not like the NFL. From what but I even stopped watching ESPN. I was religiously watched ESPN.
It's pretty-
ESPN,
it's
all they
pretty
want to talk
little.
about is
It's crazy.
Seattle, Washington, Chicago,
Yeah.
Atlanta. The New York Yankees, one of them was walking down the street the other day. We're going live to New York. That's the way that
And
it is. And then it's like in LA they painted the fences. that's the way
That's
it is.
it.
And Dallas Cowboys, will they win this year?
They hit
What are the odds of Dallas Cowboys making it to the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
gives
absolutely.
The Braves are on a 10-win winning streak. Anyway, the Cowboys' schedule this year. That's ESPN.
It is.
Right there.
That's about as good as you could say.
How
right
good are
now.
the Eagles going to be?
The Braves
Tom
just won
Brady
the World
was in a
Series.
swimsuit.
What about those Dallas Cowboys? They're 5-5.
Well, you know what?
Can the Cowboys turn their season around? That's what it always is.
I know we're
If it
Oh,
ain't big
jeez.
market, they don't want to talk.
seriously and it's not fishing, but it's true. Ohio State could run out of
Folks,
they could
I
run
think
out of a high
Ohio's-
school
I
team,
can hear him
and
now,
they would
yeah.
be ranked 1 or 2
I hear
every
him
year in
now.
the preseason poll.
Well, I think Ohio State. You see, they got a really good quarterback again this year. I think they can put 45 up on Bama.
Yeah, every year.
It's like every year.
Notre Dame,
Notre
same
Dame.
way.
I was going
Notre
to say
Dame, same way.
Yep.
The Yankees could go 0-162, and they'll get on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball 37 times the following year.
Oh yeah, and another one that I heard recently on ESPN, the Georgia Bulldogs, the national defending champions. How many wins will Brian Kelly have at his first year in LSU?
Exactly.
What? How is that relevant?
Exactly.
What does that matter?
And I honestly heard my son. I got a 21-year-old at home, and we were sitting the other day, and he was pulling up, and it might have been Sunday or whatever. And he's sitting there, and I'm in the kitchen, and all I hear is, "What is this WNBA shit they're throwing down our throat?" I mean, he goes, nobody watches that crap. He goes, it's on there. He goes, there's no baseball on. There's no, it's WNBA. Nobody, and he's just in the living room, just
Passionate.
great.
Oh,
He is
oh,
mad.
and then the other thing ESPN's pretty good at about right now is LeBron's playing in a men's league.
Yeah, who cares?
And will Kyrie Irving be mentally stable to play this year? And
Exactly.
and what's going to happen to Kevin Durant?
Yeah,
That's all in the
He's going to
NBA.
go to another front-running team because he's a front-runner.
Yeah.
he will. I heard he's going
And the
back.
Knicks. They always talk about the Knicks
The
on
Knicks.
ESPN.
You just
Well, the
opened
Knicks
up a
turned their
can of
season
worms.
around.
I
This
guess
is
I
just
did.
turning in. ESPN
No.
used to be so good, and MTV
No,
used to play music.
no.
You know
That was a
the
long
sad
time
thing
ago.
is, I
Yeah,
think- I
exactly
think
what Carl
when
Wheeler
Stuart
said.
Scott-
Notre Dame could be 8-3 and they'll be ranked 5th in the nation.
Absolutely.
They'll lose to Michigan and Michigan State or something. But well, Notre Dame's going to make it to the playoff
Yeah,
because
they'll figure out a
they
way.
only got beat by 10 to Michigan.
Every
And it's like they
single
justify
year.
it.
Yeah.
And
It's
but
ridiculous.
ESPN has
Watch
got.
football.
What's that?
You watch football?
He did.
I would rather watch college than NFL. I was a diehard Steeler fan. I mean, diehard Steeler fan.
I've always liked the Steelers. though.
What's that?
I've always liked the Steelers.
What's that?
How'd you come by that?
What Steelers?
Steelers, yeah.
Quite honestly, it was the colors. When I got in an argument with my sister when I was 4 years old,
Black
and it
and
was
yellow.
just the colors. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Well, Terry Bradshaw and them.
Yeah.
back when I
Well,
was
it just
young.
so happens
Yeah,
I grew up in the '70s and
Right,
kind
yeah.
of won a whole bunch.
they did. They were
So I
great.
mean, I'm
So,
sure that helped too. But
yeah,
Houston, America's team.
that's right. It is. I'm sorry. We went on that ESPN
Wherever the
rant.
hell that came from on MLB on Fox. They're like, we're America's
ESPN
team
went
now.
down the crapper
All
when,
right.
unfortunately, when Stuart Scott passed away.
I like.
I like, man, he
and
was
I
awesome.
like Dan Patrick on it too. Now I wasn't a fan
Yep.
of Oberman. He's kind of a wacko.
Oh,
but,
God.
Yeah.
Dylan's a Notre Dame fan.
Give me back them rods.
Bandwagoner.
Oh, dilly. Oh,
Bring back one of
dilly
them
dilly.
rods.
All right, here we go. Here's all right. Seriously, we're
LJ, go Cowboys.
yeah.
I figured you'd be a Panthers fan.
All right. How about this one? How about this little fishing fact?
Back to fish
I'm gonna let y'all
stars,
guess.
Nothing, whatever.
Smallmouth bass are more closely related to A, spotted bass, B, largemouth bass. Genetically speaking, smallmouth bass are more closely related to A, spotted bass, or B, largemouth bass.
I'm gonna go with spotted bass if there's any relation at all other than being a bass. I'm gonna go with spotted bass.
Okay, I'm gonna get your answers. I'm gonna get everybody's answers first.
I'd have to agree with that.
Spotted
Yeah.
bass. Okay, what about you, Ryan?
I'm just gonna be the unicorn. I'm gonna say largemouth.
Okay, actually, smallmouth bass are more closely related to spotted bass than largemouth.
Okay.
Genetically speaking,
Yeah.
they're more related to spotted bass.
Okay.
I found that to be kind of interesting
What's
right
the
there.
difference between them?
I didn't.
Does it give a percentage?
No,
one's
it
green,
actually.
one's
Hey,
brown?
no, it actually did, Paul. It actually did on the website. I was just too lazy to write it all down. But there is a percentage that their genetic makeup
Well,
is.
damn, that's meat that we need to chow into.
Well, I'm sorry. How about this one? How about this question? How many eggs can a female largemouth bass produce per pound of body weight? Per pound of body weight, how many eggs can a female largemouth bass produce?
Ain't it like 16,000 or something
No,
like
you're
that?
too high.
Well, I'm too
That's too
high.
high?
That's too high.
Really?
Hmm.
Glad I
Per
didn't
pound.
say
Per
it.
pound.
There you
Now,
go.
per pound.
Okay.
Per pound of weight.
So a 5 pound.
And this is an average. This is. I'm sure there are exceptions. This is an average.
Okay.
5,000.
Well, okay, yeah. So, okay, a female largemouth bass produces an average of 4,000 eggs per pound of body weight.
So a 5 pounder would do 20,000 eggs.
20,000 eggs on average.
Hmm.
On average, and so if you got a 10 pounder, she would do 40,000, which can be used in the argument for somebody to say always put the big females back.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a possibility. I don't know.
That's a
I
good
don't know
question.
because I was looking
Yeah.
at the lifespan of bass, and generally they fell between 12 and
17,
12 and 15 years. The largest, here's a good question. Now, I remember this. What is the oldest recorded largemouth bass ever in years?
What, like 23 years old or something?
Ding, ding, ding. You got it.
Yeah.
20,
Holy crap. Get
Yeah.
out of my head, James.
20
Speak
I
up,
was
bro.
thinking 5,000 and then 23. I swear God is my
yep,
witness.
4,000.
Is
So that's
that,
it.
Get out of my head.
Is that Dottie?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. How about this old wives' tale? Fish can see upwards, but not downwards.
Nope.
No, you can see down.
That's fish can see upwards,
Their
but not
eyes are on the
downwards.
side of their head. So,
Yeah, I don't see why they.
yeah.
They pick up my jig.
All right,
when it's
so
on the bottom,
let me
so-
let me add a caveat to that. I've got well, I'll say my brother-in-law, our president,
Yeah.
swears that by looking when he catches a fish, if the eyes are looking up, he'll fish a different technique, and then there's times when if they're looking down, he'll fish the bottom.
But let me
I've
play.
heard that about trout, Sal.
Let me
Okay.
play devil's advocate on this. If you notice when a bass is hitting something on the bottom, he's tilted.
Okay,
Fair enough.
all right.
Yeah.
I think he's got a blind spot below him, right?
That might be, yeah.
And
He's.
that's
But
kinda
think
his
about that.
greatest area where he can't see.
Think about that though. I mean, if you watch any of the tactical bassing videos or any video on it, and they're throwing a jig or something, most of the time the bass will come up and he's tilted downwards.
Are they smelling it though?
That's a possibility. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is he using eyesight, smelling it?
He's got to have it.
Scratch
Come on.
fishing. Here we go. Here comes Paul again.
I'm sorry to be that guy.
No, you're good.
No, I feel like with the way that a bass's body is, right, like below him and in front of him, he's got to have a blind spot,
Yeah.
right, where he can't see.
Like,
So when
right
he's
underneath him.
looking to feed on a jig or a crawfish or whatever, something that falls down, he's got to tilt so that he can get both eyes on that target and be able to aim at it to eat it. I mean, that
I mean, I can see that. Yeah.
What do you think about that, Ryan?
I was eating a jig. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's why they nose down. That's why they nose down.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
I mean,
it's
but
got
I-
to be
but
the
I don't
Randy
know.
Blaukat living rubber.
Oh my
Like,
god! Don't get me
But
started
it's
on
got to.
Randy
He's
Blaukat.
got to recognize
Here's
how
a myth
pricey
to-
your jig
here's a
is,
myth to
so
write
that he
down.
can eat it.
watch this.
Here's
Yeah.
a
believe in-
myth to write down and put on there and ask the question. Randy Blaukat is a good YouTuber.
That's your myth.
Is it true or false?
Oh.
You don't like Randy?
Opinion. He's a moron.
Entertaining.
He's entertaining.
He's a
Okay.
moron.
I don't
I think
watch.
he understands the game.
It's like the other day he was
Yeah.
like, I'm sick and tired of reading about tournaments all the time. And it just drives me up the wall. Shut up, Randy. No one cares.
Tell us how you feel.
If you don't care, if you don't want to see tournaments being won by live scope and stuff like that on these northern lakes, then don't freaking read
Is he
about them.
anti? Is he anti-live scope?
He's anti anything that's popular.
Okay. All right. How about this?
When's the
Keeps him
last time
relevant.
He's won.
I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have. I don't have live scope, and I don't really plan on buying it. But if you like it and you like to use it, and you got confidence in using it, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "You
Shame on
suck."
you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that.
How about this one? Because I know we did the Hunt North Georgia thing earlier today, and I know this is very popular amongst deer hunters. If the cows are laying, fish won't bite.
Oh.
Now I will tell you that I've heard many hunters say, "Well, if the cows are laying, the deer are bedded down. If the cows are up, the deer are up." Now, whether that's true or not, but I've heard
I'd say
that
that's the other way around.
if the cows are laying, the deer are up.
No, that if the cows are down, the fish would be biting because cows lay down ahead of weather.
Ahead of weather.
And we already talked about weather's rolling in. Usually,
Kurt.
they're eating.
What did Kurt
Kurt
say?
said, "Block it as a closet, Peter hippie."
There you go.
Sort of cat.
He is a different sort of cat. I do know in the deer hunting world that I have heard many times that the cows are laying down, the deer are not up and moving.
I know it gets me excited when I pull out of the house and start heading to the lake, and if I see deer running, standing on the side of the road or running across the road, it makes because it's like I don't know. I guess in my mind, I'm like, well, the deer are moving and stuff like that, so the fish should be moving too.
Boy, you can't go to Bolden Mill without
go to
seeing
Bolden Mill
800 of them
without
things.
seeing 5,000 of them
You've
things.
got to drive slow. I just know, like I said, that's interesting as far as with fishing. I don't know, but I do know I've heard that my entire hunting life. Lucky lures. Do you have lucky lures? Is there a lure that you have a luck that, you know?
I have a couple of lures hanging on my wall, and I won't throw no more that I've won some significant amount of money or had a good bag of fish on.
And you retired the lure?
Yeah,
Why?
I just because
Did you replace it?
yeah, I
Okay.
replaced it,
All
but it's like a specific, like the crankbait that I caught those 19 fish in a row on back in December or whenever it was, or January. That one's hanging. That I cut that one off at the end of the day. It's hanging up in my basement.
Pull up farmer's thing, because I've heard him say one down right there. I've heard this before. If you see the sticks and the pine needles in the water straight up and down,
Yeah,
you've got high pressure and a tougher bite. Or if
I agree with that.
I've
You'll
never-
see sticks like that too.
I've never paid attention.
I have
Yeah.
heard that.
I've never.
I've heard that
Yeah.
I don't know.
vertical in the water. Of course I don't get to fish as much as some of the guys, but I've heard him say that. I've heard other people say that you know, you can tell by the way they're laying on the water as to whether, you know, the pressure, if the pressure is too high or something like that, that you're gonna have a slow day.
I agree with
Very interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So what about you, Sal? Any lucky lures or lucky charms? That was a thing. Do you have any lucky charms on your boat or lucky lures?
You know something? I don't. I've got one lure on my boat, and you know, my boat stays in my garage. Okay, and you know, and we get the grandbabies at the house pretty much every weekend. Okay, and Noah is now 6. And so he always likes climbing in the boat just to see what Pop's doing, right? So he grabbed this white fluke. It was just a white fluke. He's like, Pop, can I have this? And I'm like, sure, no, you can have it. And of course it's not, I can't use it anymore. He goes upstairs and he says, Pop, I got something for you upstairs. Come on up here. About 20 minutes later, he had painted this fluke for me. And that thing does not leave my boat.
No.
So it's in my boat.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Would I say it's a lucky lure? I've had a great season since I've had it, so maybe it is. Well, you know, time will tell. But,
Absolutely, yeah.
But it stays right in my boat. It doesn't go. You've seen it. You've
Yeah.
seen it hanging on the under lid.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Farmer knows one about me.
What is yours?
Farmer can tell it. He can comment on it.
You have to have that one rattle trap that looks nothing like it did when you bought it, that just catches them.
Well, doesn't everybody?
I don't. I'm not a rattle trap guy. I need to.
Well, me either, but I mean, I've still got one.
All right, but anything on your boat?
No, not really.
Maybe that's the problem. You need a painted
maybe that's
fluke.
the problem.
Bring a fluke up here, and I'll color on it.
Careful, you're going to offend LJ. He's already
Bring a
mad.
jerk shad. Jeepers, crow.
Get up here. Anyway,
I carry my girl's socks in my pocket now at every tournament.
Oh,
little girl.
that's
Okay,
adorable.
yeah. See, something with a cool backstory. Yeah, that's cool. I get that. I mean, how do I follow that? I mean,
Yeah.
Where when?
freaking-
Hey,
Exactly.
pull a Bull Durham.
grandson painted
And I want to use it.
soft
It's
jerk
red,
bait.
white, and blue.
LJ.
I have
It's
got.
pretty.
I have
Yeah.
got one for you. Have you ever watched the movie Bull Durham?
No.
You like baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it. So, Bull
Hey,
Durham.
there's Chris Randolph on.
What's up, Chris Randolph? Bull Durham to me is the best baseball movie ever made. I know people argue with me, but I love Bull Durham. But he starts wearing a woman's garter to help him keep his channels cleared in the Galapagos Islands. But you have to
How high I got to wear it?
You got to wear it up, and the rose goes in the front. That's a big scene, and the rose goes in the front, big guy. But you're saying you're kind of struggling a little bit. I want to challenge you to the next tournament. If you can get them on, a pair of women's undergarments under your shorts.
Listen, there's some things that a fellow
You know-
Bass brother should not have to look at.
But
Hey,
if his pants are up, you won't see them.
Oh, thank goodness.
here-
Yeah, no, he's got
I
shorts
want to
on.
make it clear
Would
because
you
we
wear-
just saw a guy in a
Breathe
major
through your
tournament
eyes,
wear
that's right.
fish in his underwear.
Luckily, I'm by myself on our next club.
All right,
Would
did you put the pairings out yet?
Would
He didn't
you?
put them up, but I asked.
Would you wear for Fish North Georgia for a scientific experiment?
Is there going to have to be photo proof of this?
At least to me. Will you wear?
I am
will
not
you
taking the
wear?
picture, FYI.
Will,
No, you're not.
Will you wear a pair of women's undergarments?
Rachel's going to get mad.
You gonna stretch them out a little bit?
Yeah, a
What?
little bit.
Well, get the thong.
How do we know he doesn't wear them now?
They ain't nowhere nothing.
I
mean,
know, I
this may
freeball- I
not be a
freeball
challenge,
everywhere I
man.
go.
This may not be a challenge. He could have them on right now.
Harmon, I don't wear undergarments. How about that? That's basically I don't.
Man, I was
Bring it to
just
your
about
eyes.
to book a trip with you. Gosh.
With me,
No, with LJ.
LJ.
And he doesn't wear undergarments.
No, LJ probably wears a thong. But would you, just for scientific
They
purposes
ain't
only?
nowhere underwear.
I don't. I'm anti-underwear.
Oh,
You don't
yeah?
have any underwear on right now?
No, sir. There's nothing between me and you but a little thin sheet of denim
All right. And this table.
and the table.
Okay, good.
But you did hug me upstairs.
That's all right.
Oh, boy.
You did.
No wonder why you asked me that question.
I asked you.
There was still a barrier.
There's still a barrier.
All right.
But let me ask you this: just for scientific purposes, will you commit right now
Oh, boy.
to wear a pair? And I'll go buy one your size if you can't get it at home. A pair of women's undergarments and see how you do in the next tournament.
I got to film Danny going
You know-
in buying a damn pair of underwear.
Oh, I'll walk in there like
if
I own the
didn't
place.
really need to do well on our next one. I mean, like, really need to do well.
Are we
I
talking
might do that.
thong
but-
or are we talking
I don't wanna upset too
those
much right now.
granny panties?
Oh, granny panties
Well, the
would be a
thong would be
challenge.
sexier, but granny panties will work. I just want you to wear women's underwear. Come on, James.
Can't do it, bro.
This is for science.
Can't do it, bro. I'm sorry.
I think you should do it.
I can't do
I
it.
I think it would be good karma.
Jeremiah.
Oh, God. What you saying?
What is Jeremiah? What?
Don't say that.
This man.
Don't do that.
Oh, but I have been, dude. Seriously,
Oh, boy.
I have been.
LJ, don't worry, bro. I can't do it.
Come on.
I can't do it.
Come on.
Uh-uh.
Nobody's questioning your
Pick a
manhood.
lure.
Don't
A lure.
don't let Danny insinuate you to do things. I've learned that a long time ago.
Well, I
with
just
him.
said no.
Exactly. So stand your
No
ground.
means no.
I am.
Exactly. Thank you, Paul.
Right now, I'm highly
You
disappointed.
know, if you would have asked
Well,
me
you'll get
first,
over it.
I might have said
True.
yes, but you
Yeah.
didn't ask me first.
You didn't ask that.
but you just said you've had a hell of a year.
I have.
He said he'd been struggling a little bit. That's why it's for science.
He's
Find-
the Giambi, Jason
find-
Giambi
find a
with
lure.
gold thong.
Yeah. No.
Pinkston said he'll do it, and I don't doubt that a bit, Pinkston. I don't doubt that a
That's
bit.
why Steve's still single.
That's why Steve is still single. I would listen. I would do it. I would do it.
Cheers to you, buddy.
Really, you're not going to wear the garter or nothing like that.
No, I can't do it.
God, what about you, Ryan? You guys suck. All right, Sal.
What?
For scientific purposes, because you've had a great year. So if you wear them and you
I
bomb,
already have a superstitious trinket, so I don't need anything else. I do no good when I don't have this on. That's why it never comes off. It came off one
He's
time.
talking about his fish. His
Came
fish
off.
necklace.
It came off one time. I shaved my face the night before a tournament. That farmer was fishing with me, and we had about 17, 18 pounds blow up on a buzzbait and didn't get a single one in the hook.
And you blame it on your not having your chain on.
At 12:30, I reached up here like this, and I said, "Oh shit!" And that was the reason why.
You still sure you don't want to wear the underwear?
I'm pretty sure.
Dang it.
Yeah.
All right. If I get Rachel to tell you to wear them, will you?
No.
Huh?
No.
All right. Okay.
Because
I was going to put $100 up.
No, you weren't.
I have my wife's garter. I don't know if I get my leg around it.
How about this? $200.
Why are you trying to bribe me?
Because I want you to put the women's underwear on and fish with it.
I'm not a cheap hooker, bro.
What's your price?
I know everybody has a price.
What would be your price? How about that? Here's a question for every one of you.
Hold on a minute. We're still running a business here.
I'm not saying I'm going to pay it, but what would be your price to wear women's underwear in a tournament?
He'd do it for $5.
You want to know something?
You a cheap date, Sal?
I wouldn't give a damn.
I like your
I
attitude.
wouldn't care.
I like your attitude.
I wouldn't.
That's
As long as I can
funny.
get him down quick enough to lean over a power pole if I have to, I'm good.
Okay.
It may be easier. I mean, it's just pull to the side, right? I mean, that's the way they work. That's the way it works. It's always worked for me.
It's
you
always
just
worked for you?
pull to the side and have
Tell
at
it on
it.
yourself now.
What?
Listen, bro. Hey, I'm all with you right there, man. I mean,
Yeah, bro, I am. Go for it.
I'm right
Yum,
there.
yum.
with you.
Oh, boy.
Yum,
Yeah,
yum,
it's getting there.
yum,
Getting there.
yum.
Some of them without
Just
the middle part. You
remember.
Crotchless.
Just remember. Hey,
just let them
what-
have it.
you know what though? Here's what is going to happen, and I'm getting ready to get back on a couple more myths right here. You know you're going to go home and try a pair home. You're not going to tell us that you do, but you know you're going to go home and try a pair,
No,
huh?
absolutely not.
James is officially never going to come back on the show.
What did
I wouldn't
James
say
say?
that.
Are we still fit? Yeah,
He's-
He's gonna get home.
Listen.
And go, do you understand what we're sponsoring?
yeah.
Like,
Hey,
Yes.
If she's still tuned in, she's gonna ask me that question when I get.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, though, we love all of y'all, but we are still fishing. But hey, listen, when you get to be our age, Justin, you'll start talking about stuff like this because that's just the way this show went down the crapper fast, and it always does. So there you go. But just remember one thing: when you do, Rose goes in the front. Always, Rose goes in the front.
I will keep it in mind.
Bass myths: biggest bass in the lake are always in the deepest water. I know what Ryan's going to say.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan.
That is a myth. The biggest bass in a lake will always be found in the deepest water. I think that's a kind of a dumb myth, but that was one.
Yeah.
Here's one that'd be a good topic for conversation. Modern live wells make fish care easy.
Not
No,
necessarily,
man.
Modern live wells make fish care easy.
Easier, but
It's all about what the user, does to your live wells.
And what are some of the things that you do, Ryan, to your live well to make sure that the bass
Well, we have
And
a
the
nice
fish care.
fancy video.
we do, if we can ever get it
We'll
out?
never get it out, but like I said, 10 pounds of ice on each side of the live well. Get to the lake. Don't do anything at the boat ramp until you get to your first spot. As soon as you get to your first spot, start putting water in there to melt the ice up. The walls will stay cool. It'll keep the water temperature all day long, about 8 to 10 degrees cooler than it, which is not enough to shock them. And always run G-juice and a cap full of hydrogen peroxide, and always run recirc and never put no more water back in the live well in the summer.
Okay.
Never put more. That's
Just-
a critical thing. Is
do you
never
put multiple
more.
caps of the hydrogen
No, I
peroxide
only need
throughout
one
the day?
cap.
Just
He
one cap?
does one every time we go fish. Every time I fish with him, he does
Just
that. He
one
takes that
time.
one cap and dumps it.
Now, do you do the noodles?
Yes,
The
I have
pool
noodles,
noodles?
in my boat too. Yes.
And then as far as the recirc, do you keep that water blowing above the surface of the
keep
water?
I keep it blowing. I keep the water level up. So I put plugs in the back. When you
And,
go up
and
that
the
thing, it
overflows.
says- I put plugs in there in the overflows, and then I keep the water level about this high above the recirc.
Okay.
Above
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Michael Temples wants to know why not just wait till you catch your first fish?
Why not?
I guess I'm assuming you put.
Why not wait until you catch your first fish? Because I don't want to throw it in there with straight ice in there already.
You don't want to shock it.
That
The
makes sense.
process of
Yeah.
doing the way that I do it in the summertime is because basically I'm creating a cooler effect in my live wells.
Okay.
That's essentially what I'm doing.
Scratch fish. I'm gonna read. See, Butler's got a comment. I've heard the color of the live well keeps can affect the fish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, blue live wells, which are supposedly keeping the fish calmer, the color of the water, stuff like that. But we got a question, another from Scratch Fishing, and any of you guys can jump on this because I know the answer. But why do you do, or what do you do with the noodles? Any of you guys?
You just fit them to your live well, and it kind of keeps the water calm when you're running down the lake, and these fish are not sloshing around as much.
Mhm.
They also don't beat their heads if you hit them
Yeah.
when they do come up. We've all and actually even when they jump, everybody's been in had a live well, and all of a sudden you hear a fish just decide all of a sudden
it
like,
gives them
hey,
something.
I'm gonna just
And
Yeah.
it gives them something to relate to, especially deep fish.
yeah. So
It gives them something to kind of relate to.
So what they do is basically, if your live well is, under the lid is 18 inches across, they cut them at 18, and it floats on top of the water. You can stick fish down there easily, but it's just a buffer
Yeah.
and the calmness of it and stuff
I
like
think it
that.
helps insulate the water too. I mean, there's
That's a good
keep
thing.
it a little bit cooler as
Yeah.
well.
I
Just
have
one
5 on
layer
each
or layer.
side.
Hey, just one or layer them
I
across
have
the whole
5
thing.
of them this long on each side.
Okay, you hear what Ryan just said, Scratch Fish, and he has 5 per side, which gives you pretty much a protective layer for the majority of the live well.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to pack it full. You can just have enough to kind of keep that. So Dylan, 5 of them per
If you-
live well. He's got 2 though.
If you buy 2 Dollar General pool noodles and take a razor knife and cut them about that long,
And he's so about 14 inches,
about
15
that
inches long.
and stick them in there, you're good.
I know a lot of guys do that. Now let me ask you this: any of you guys run? And I know you don't, but oxygen,
Mm-mm.
the oxygen stones. Do you think that's kind of like a fad / overkill?
I don't need oxygen because I'm running recirc all day long, and I've already put H2O2 in there. So I got H2O with H2O2 in there,
Which is the peroxide.
which is the peroxide.
Okay.
I'm actually when it makes a little bit more oxygen, it actually oxygenates the water a little bit more. I have fish in August trying to jump out of live well at the end of the day.
That's true. That's true.
I open the lids.
Just kidding. Let me ask you a
So-
question. When you have bigger fish in a live well, do you find it harder to keep them as active as the smaller ones? I'm talking 2-3 pounds versus having like a 5 and a couple 4s in there.
And
If
double up on this: largemouth versus spot too. While you're talking that.
Yeah, I try to separate in my live well. I got 2 live wells, so I try to separate.
But if your toe angler has to use that live well,
well, if that's the case, then that's a totally different scenario. But and me personally, which for one,
The majority
y'all
of
are
fishing does is partners.
y'all. I have my partner, but y'all's situation, y'all don't fish in July or August, right?
no, we
No,
do.
we're year round.
Y'all year round.
Yep.
Okay, so for that instance, what it would be for the way that y'all's situation is, because each one of y'all 2 fishing in y'all's club, he's responsible for his 5, you're responsible for your 5.
Yeah.
All you can do, and the way that I've done it, is I try to fill up my water a little bit more, and then try throughout the day, especially if I have some big fish in them, I won't put the cold clips in them. And I don't have the punctures. I have the ones that grip
Clip on the lips.
But if I have the bigger ones, I don't even put the cold clips in them. I want them
Because he's a keeper anyway.
yeah, and I like to open up my lid, and if I got a big old lip in there or a big old spot, I like to open up the lid and look. And if she's in there, just
chilling.
yeah.
she's happy.
Yeah.
She's happy. She's fine. She's comfortable.
Okay.
I ain't got no worry in the world about her.
I've had some trouble this year keeping some fish alive, some important fish alive, and it just not in one occurrence. So that's why I'm asking you questions.
Yeah.
I've been catching bigger fish, and
Yes, you have
unfortunately, I've been losing them in important situations. The last ABA on Oconee, I lost a 459, which was my biggest fish. But the first fish of the day I caught was in the tongue.
Mhm.
Okay. And it was a 2-pounder. And then the next fish I caught was at 459. And then I had a 1.5 pound penalty and dropped down to 11th place. I would have come in 7th. I would have been in the points sitting in 2nd by 2 instead of in 3rd by 2. So, I mean, and I've reached out to the Picasa Pro staff webpage And Chris Beaudry, I think is the way you pronounce his name. He messaged me. I called him. I talked to him for 45 minutes, and he's saying the same thing that you're saying, Ryan. Not so much with the ice as far as like doing the whole cooler thing, but I love that idea. I mean, I absolutely love that idea. You know, I lost that, you know, the 495 in our club up on Chick.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just. Yeah, I've been racking my brain, and you called me a softie or said you don't like killing things. I don't like killing things, but you know, it affects my soul when I lose a fish like that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When's the last time cleaning live wells?
Well, that's the thing. I usually clean them probably every other wash. But the thing is like, am I going out and buying biodegradable cleaner for my live well?
You
No.
don't need it.
You know, I'm just using my turtle wax that I had to wash the boat with.
You need baking soda.
Baking soda.
Baking soda is a base.
Okay.
And when you run the baking soda, I'll tell you, I'll write it down step for step for you after this and tell you how to do it. I do it twice a year. I clean my live wells and my pumps and my bilge and everything twice a year. There's one thing that I do to my bilge, and then there's a thing that I do with my recirc, my aerators, and then my pump out. And I use baking soda. I have a tire brush that you can buy at Walmart that you would scrub your tires with.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a process to where I go, and it is bar none the best thing that I've ever done. And I've been doing it for about 6-7 years now.
Okay.
Since I started doing that. And this is no, hey, I got to clean my live wells. I'll be down here for 20 minutes. No, it takes an hour.
What about you, James?
So,
I just run some peroxide through it from time to time, as far as keeping them clean.
you scrub everything and repump.
Probably
and
not as diligent as I
Kingston's
should be
yeah.
with that, but
Good comment by him.
I've been fortunate to not lose many fish. Of course, there's not really that many fish in there.
Hey, buddy, I'm with
But,
you. I'm with you.
But it's cool.
Especially Pinkston put, especially when going to different lakes, cleaning the live wells out and bringing
Well,
stuff
that's
like
for
that.
invasive species and stuff
Right.
like that. Like,
It is.
Huge.
How about this though? Michael wants to know real quick up there. What if you just have an aerator in the live well with no recycler? And that is more common in the electric only world, where guys are building aluminum boats or stuff like that, and they don't have them. Now, I'm not necessarily his, but I know that. And that's when you get up there, guys are fishing. You know, guys will use coolers for live wells, and they just got an aerator. So for those guys, same thing: ice, peroxide, G-juice, stuff like that.
Same thing. Do the same exact scenario. Do not, when you add water to it, do not add no more. Do not add no more.
I was making that mistake. I had the reusable ice packs,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I was bonking the fish on the head and stressing them out. And I think, and that was and just running more water into the live well throughout that.
That's
I felt,
a possibility, yeah.
You know, so I mean, I was making mistakes, and I fully admit it, and I'll take blame for it.
We
but,
all-
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, we
but
learn.
This is, I guess, learn from my mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes. So that's why.
Yeah. There was another one too. It was a comment by, and I don't know where it went, but Kurt Wehunt said he sees a lot of guys right there at blast off and everything, filling their live
That's
wells.
the worst thing you could possibly
Filling
do.
your live wells right there at blast off because of
gas,
oil,
yeah,
everything in the
all that kind of
water.
stuff. Trim fluid leaking out a little bit, all that stuff. You just sucking that straight into your motor. You're sucking that straight into the live well.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. And a lot of guys don't think about that. Now, Michael Temple says, I heard Mountain Dew is good to clean with. I don't know. We've always heard it's good for fish care.
If you tongue hook a fish or gill rake a fish, Mountain Dew does wonders.
And I don't know why,
does
but
wonders.
that is something. And again, at some point,
Chemical makeup somehow.
just like we mentioned earlier in the show, at some point there was one guy who thought, my fish is bleeding. Let's pour some Mountain Dew in his mouth and see what happens.
Yeah.
The stuff,
Might have been all he had.
the
I've
stuff.
heard it's the phosphorus.
Phosphorus. Okay. Well, that might be. He might have just known it has phosphorus, or the acid or whatever it is, and he did it. But
Yeah,
again, somebody
that's a-
had to do that for the first time.
That's a myth that Justin hit right there. That's what talking about. That's a myth too. Some people say don't buy ice from the gas stations because it's got chlorine in it. No, the ice that you buy from the gas stations doesn't have chlorine in it. That is the biggest myth that I've ever heard in my life. What do people, when they sell you ice, what are they doing with it? Most people are drinking it. They're putting it in cups and stuff. You gonna drink something that's got chlorine in it?
Ah, good point. Good point. I hadn't thought about that.
You are.
Well,
You ever drink tap water?
That's different. That's because of the amount of water that goes through with the water.
This is where we need Blake,
I
because
have
Blake
had-
works at the water
I have
treatment. He
had
could tell.
bait die quicker, like
With-
striper fishing
With ice bought from
racetrack versus like I know Hammond's has a non-chlorinated fridge or
Yeah.
Well, I
not
know
fridge, but
that
they keep it
the
in the
last few
fridge.
times we've gone up to when we're fishing Carters or whatever, and Josh and I experienced it during the re-reg. They racetrack or no, it's the Quick Trip, and I don't know if it's all Quick Trips, but they actually have an ice. They don't buy it from an outside source.
it's
They-
trucked in.
No, the one up here in Jasper
Yeah.
has a machine. They make their own ice. It's been
Oh,
down for
in-house.
2 months.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so so that's what I don't
That's
know if
smart.
it's every
Yeah.
Quick Trip, but I know the one in Jasper, Georgia, makes the ice, bags it right there, and their machine has been down the last 2 times we made. It was the morning you and I went.
Yeah, I mean, you were going up there. We had to divert.
We had to divert because their ice machine was down, and then we went back a month later. Me and Josh fished electric tournament on the re-reg. They didn't have ice again. Their machine was down.
Yeah, see,
So-
LJ keeps saying radii. Yeah, radii. So that one gas station that I go to religiously has radii.
Okay, yeah, and they do, Michael. All fish care products are really good, but there's even sometimes if you tongue hook, and I don't know why it is, but if you tongue hook a bass, there's a really good chance that bass is going to die even after you keep it alive for a weigh-in. I don't know why that is. Why is that a tongue hook bass has a good chance of dying?
There's a nerve and an artery that runs up into their tongue,
Uh-huh.
and they just bleed to death.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why.
How about this? Do you fizz fish?
Absolutely.
Okay. We probably all do. Through the mouth or the side?
I only know how to do it through the side. Scott Barnes showed me how to do it through the mouth. I've had better luck with it going through the side.
Okay. And you?
I do it from the side.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm still learning.
Still in? I do it through the
Yeah.
mouth.
I've
I've never lost one through the mouth, but
yeah.
I couldn't tell you where to do one through the side. I've never even attempted it.
You know, Wayne,
Yeah.
my brother-in-law taught me.
Taught you how to do that
Yeah.
like that.
And I think, you know, with all these high school tournaments and college tournaments, I would really like to see them get a little bit more involved with their conservation. I helped them down at Clark's Hill, you know, when the state classic, they usually fish the college tournament the same day. They usually come in after us. And I was down there fizzing fish, and not a single one of them wanted to learn how to do it. And I don't know, I'm not saying this is all college tournaments and all high school tournaments, but I feel like I have a passion deep inside of me to help these young kids learn how to conserve and appreciate the fishery instead of just, you know, treating it like it's, you know, piece of meat.
I understand. No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think it's just
Absolutely.
going to, you know, again,
And there's nothing worse for the look of a bass tournament to pull up as a spectator or just somebody decides to go to that park today and people just wade in and they throw out. There's
We'll do
25
that
dead
this winter,
fish.
Michael. I'll do that. I'll do one this winter. We'll get out there on one of our things, and one day we're out there this winter. We'll do one. I'll do one from the side. Danny will do one through the mouth. I don't know how to do it through the mouth, but I know how to do it from the side.
What it's kind of like, you know, my daughter being a nurse, I know that she had to when she was practicing giving shots.
Mm-hmm.
They took an orange, and because it simulated the toughness of skin and stuff like that. I wish there was a product, some type of fish where, you know, you actually could do that, where you could pump an air bladder in and actually maybe it would be foam or whatever and do it that way. But there's not a product out there. So the only way to really show anybody successfully is on a fish itself. You know? And so you actually have to have a fish that needs to be fizzed. But I actually learned, bless Josh's heart, one day, neither one of us knew how to fizz a fish, and he caught one, and he didn't know. I mean, and so it's not that he's dumb or nothing. We just didn't know. We had a fizz needle in there, and you know, you've got a couple of opportunities to do it right. But if you go in through the mouth at least, and you go in at a wrong angle, you're just poking the innards. And I mean, you got to be able to hit that bladder. And so he finally said, I can't do it. And I got out there and I just tried it, and I guess luckily I was able to do it.
That's the best thing about why I like the side. Is the best thing about the side is I can come here and I can lay the fin down. I can lay the fin down right here, and it's my anatomy, the way that I am, is it works out perfectly for me. But the width of my thumb from the back of the fin
is where you need
is
to
right
focus.
there where I can come right in here at a 45-degree angle, right here underneath that scale, and just come right in there and go, and then it goes. You'll feel it go right in there,
Yeah.
and then you just fizz it in the live well.
Now, do
And as soon as
you
it's done, you're
once
ready.
you go in at the 45, do you straighten it out?
No.
Or do you just
No,
stay-
you
No,
just
no,
go
you
straight.
stay in.
When you go underneath that scale, you'll feel it. So you're gonna feel it, and it's going like people that I've showed how to do it. They freak out. They're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "No. That's the muscle. That's right there with the fin. You're not hurting them. You go right through that little spot, and then right underneath that is the bladder. It's the meat in the middle of the bladder. And as soon as you feel, you'll actually feel the needle kind of go
pop?
in the
Yeah.
end. And that's the only way to describe it. Is it's in like this, and then it all of a sudden it goes like
yeah,
that.
it gets really easy down.
And then as soon as you do that, if it's in your live well, as soon as you do that, and you kind of just kind of barely gently lift up a little bit,
Mhm.
as soon as you lift up just a little bit, it starts fizzing.
Okay,
How
that's
long do you do it for? Sorry, Danny.
No,
I just do it
absolutely.
until the bubbles quit.
and
Okay.
see that's
It don't take long. It don't take but about
yeah. No, so that was my question to you, Ryan. So like you've got the fish out.
yeah.
You put the this is from the side.
Yeah.
You put it in, and then you lower it into the water.
No, I do it. I pretty much go in there and I grab that fish. I got the live well lid open. I pretty much just grab that fish and I turn it over just like this, and I come in here just like this and have a hold of the bottom of the belly of it. And I'll just sit there and I'm like, okay.
Right. Because that's
And then go
because
straight in, and
yeah.
there it is. And then I
Yeah.
bubble it, and then I let it bubble, and it only takes about 6-7 seconds maybe, and then you let it go.
Yeah.
And it's going. And a lot of people freak out because it just lays there on its side for a second, but then after it realizes like swim bladder, it goes whoop and
Yeah.
turns right back down. And 9 times out of 10,
Sinks.
they sink straight down to the bottom
They
of your
do.
live
They
well.
do.
We're watching them in the tub when
Yeah.
they're doing it.
They do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
normally am like that. Like I'll have the bass and I'll put the needle right up to where I want to go in, and then I lower it down in the water right before I push it in. And it's the same thing because those needles are hollow, and I watch the bubbles right at the end and then just pull it out. But I know Farmer answered that. But yeah, but I want to go ahead and read that comment as well. Scratch Fishing's comment right there. When do you fizz a fish, at the end of the day or a certain time in the live well, or before you put them in the live well? I put them in the live well. Sometimes you can tell, you can see the fish and tell, but a lot of times I'll put it in the live well and then go back and see. We'll check on them in 5 minutes, and if they're turned upside down, let's go ahead and fizz it right then and there.
The thing about the side, the thing about doing it from the side, if you line up right there with the middle of the fin, when you fold their fin back, the thing about it is you can't, as long as you go in the middle, eyeball in the middle of the fin, you can't miss. It's right there. Now, if you go above the fin, then yeah, you're getting out of the range, and if you go too far below, you're out of the range. But if you just eyeball right there in the middle, roughly, we're not using tape measure here or micrometer,
Right.
pair of calipers or whatever. You just go right in there.
Yeah.
And you're not going to miss. And see, the thing about it is when you pull the needle out right there through the skin right there, so the muscles that run right down here through their side are very elastic because their fins do this like all day, and they move a lot. So when you go through there and then you get to that thing, as soon as you pull that needle back out, that swim bladder just covers that hole back up that you've just done.
Yeah.
And then the muscles, they don't bleed. They just don't bleed right there.
I also same thing going through the mouth. You got to be level. That's the one thing about going through the mouth.
Once you fizz them, you don't have to do it.
Yeah,
more
you
than
shouldn't.
once.
You should only have to fizz them once.
Yeah.
If you think you have to fizz one again, that fish is, there's something else.
You better look
wrong
at the
with
eyes
it.
and see if they're cloudy.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
they are, it
Right.
doesn't
and
matter.
a lot of
Right.
guys aren't comfortable with it, and so Finn Waits and Steve Pinkston puts out a great set. We've got another company, Fish Care, puts them out. I know there's other companies, but if you're not comfortable with it, definitely try the Finn Waits first, because that will at least hold that fish up in an upright, and then nature.
If you go online or if you come to the store and you buy the actual Fish Care fizz needles, there's a diagram on the back that should make you feel a whole lot better about it, because they have a
Right.
cutaway on the back of the diagram that shows you where to do it.
Right.
And it shows you actually how big swim bladder is. Swim bladder on about 2-pound fish is probably about that big.
And your needle's so small. I mean, you can hit it
Yeah.
right. I will say this, that we did I was fishing with Aaron Cole, and we tongue hooked a bass at like 7 a.m. And Aaron said, that fish is going to die. But the club that we fish in, you're not allowed to cull, and a lot of people won't cull them anyway. It's an honor thing. We're going to take it. But we actually put fin clips on that fish. It stayed alive the entire time in the live well, weighed the fish in, but then when we went to release it,
It
the
died.
fish died. But for some reason, the fin clips at least held it vertically in the live well, so that we did not weigh in a dead fish, even though we knew that fish should have been dead. We knew that the tongue hook had killed, hooking and tongue had killed it. But you do whatever you can. But the fin clips are. Have you ever used them?
Mhm.
They're a great option.
Yeah.
Fin clips are a great option, and they work a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I've seen, and it's not just, and I don't know why, but the theory is you pull a fish out of deep water, that does it. But I've actually caught fish in 15 feet or less, and maybe it's the way they fight, whether that we've had to actually
He's
fizz.
exhausted or something.
I don't know why it is. I don't. But we've had to fizz fish that were not your prototypical fish you would think you'd have to. It was shallow. And largemouth to me are like that too. I've had to fizz on Latham.
Okay.
And I know I caught that fish out of less than 10 foot of water. It turned up on its side in the live well. We fizzed it. It was fine.
It's fine.
But it was but normally it's a deeper, as they come up, the air bladder swells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not that's the norm, but there are exceptions to that. But fizzing, and I saw that, yeah, we did. We just, when James came up to the store today, we talked about it. But I saw a comment about college fishing. It's all about being cool now, and the look of that. And guys they don't want to mess with it. And, if you're going to be a successful tournament angler, you've got to know how to fish.
It's funny.
Yeah.
He says that about the college thing. I'm pretty sure that one of the requirements before the year starts for the Elite Series is you have to get down there somewhere out in Alabama. You have to go to Alabama and you got to go get in a pool with fish, and you have to get in the pool with that woman from Bassmaster. She's the biologist, the lead biologist for Bassmaster for BASS, and you have to fizz fish in front of her in order to fish.
Good.
You know what?
So it's funny. Justin says that about how.
That's right. The bins.
Yeah, it's funny how Justin says that about how the college kids think it's not cool. They're in for a rude awakening if they get lucky enough to make it to the Bassmasters.
Yeah.
You might as well learn how to do it then, because I've seen the video. You can YouTube the video of her, and she ain't the woman you want to sit there and do it wrong in front of.
Right.
She'll cuss you like a dog.
Well, she's serious about her job.
She's serious about
Yeah.
it.
You know what would make an interesting short video? And if we ever get a fish, say we fish a tournament and it dies on us, to actually put it on some ice and then actually, I hate to say this, do a cutaway. Actually scale it,
I
cut
think
it.
Kurt's going to handle us for that.
Okay, what did he say?
Kurt said next time I fillet a 14-incher, I'll take pictures.
Oh, excellent. That's what I'm talking about. Science project style. Excellent. No,
and now that we have better internet, we should be able. He can actually probably film it,
and we can upload it
instead of him actually coming if he don't want to, because I know he lives a million miles away in his world,
and that would be easier on him. I know.
But we'll be able to pull up that video since our internet is so much better now.
It is. So we'll do that. So I tell you what, we are about at the 2-hour mark. So any closing thoughts anybody you want to shout out, while you're here, Sal?
Man,
you're the talking and the time flies, man.
My shout out to you guys. I mean, honestly, I'm truly honored to be here.
Oh, good Lord.
And honestly, because I've learned a lot from him watching the shows. Other than being here, I don't know Ryan, but again,
he's okay. He's okay.
I mean, you keep him around for a reason, right?
Oh, yeah.
But no,
great.
And it ain't listen, it's not for looks.
I
I play with him.
But no, seriously, I appreciate everybody watching and interested in seeing the show with and just being here. I mean, having James, I'm glad James, my brother James, made it out.
I am. I'm glad.
We met how many years at the Atlanta Boat Show?
It's like probably 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, he was rocking the Sexy Vexy back then.
Oh,
Sexy
man.
Vexy, baby.
I love that boat.
I've been trying to upgrade my tracker since then.
Well, but it's going to happen. It's
It will
going to
happen.
happen.
It will. We're getting in a position to make it happen.
And we're glad every time you come up, it's always enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
We kept it clean tonight. We kept it clean tonight for the most part, like that. And James, of course, is Rachel aside. James is we knew James first, and so James is a good friend of us here at Fish Store, Georgia, and we always like when you come up
yes, sir,
and hang out and stuff like that. And he kind of embodies the whole goal of this. Get guys in here, become friends with them,
Yep.
talk, and it ain't all about just selling people lures and
Yeah.
stuff. You get to know them, their family and stuff like that. So we
Deeper than
appreciate,
that, for sure.
we definitely appreciate you doing that. And of course, Ryan, you did an excellent job tonight, and Paul, excellent job behind the scenes back there. And so with that, we're gonna wrap up this episode. We got any more? What is that?
I missed. I ran into Justin at the same show, and we've been friends ever
Yeah,
since.
so,
That was-
That
yeah.
was a good show.
You know,
It
I
was.
coached him in Little League football.
Did you?
I did. Probably I had like 3 kids on the offensive line, Justin being one of them, that I ran behind religiously. Like I knew they were always on the right side of the line. If I'm not mistaken, Justin might can correct me, but him and the 2 Browning boys and another boy named Cole, if I was running the football up the middle, it was going behind him every time. Probably the most consistent blocking football kid that I ever coached like that. So
Was he mean on the field? Because
No.
he's as nice as they
well,
come.
you know what? He got a little bit of a mean streak in him.
Did he?
He had a little bit of,
Okay.
but he very technically sound. And
Okay.
unfortunately, he always had to go up against the big kids and all that, but always did an outstanding job. So he was a very good kid. Very good kid.
Just on a side note, Dilly,
Dilly.
I sold him a John boat before the boat he just got.
Yeah.
The John boat that he, he put platforms and all that. I met him, I don't know what, 2-3 years ago. And I had a John boat for a neighborhood pond that I was doing. So when I saw him, it was last week or the week before. He was here last week, right?
Yes.
I saw him. I'm like, holy crap, is that him?
That's him. Dilly,
It was
Dilly.
awesome that you guys had him on. And man, he was tighter than.
He's scared to death.
He was scared. Scratch fishing. What's up with Yum Yum? Message me. Message me.
You don't want to know.
Listen to this.
You don't want to know.
I gotta say this though about Justin. And I coached him in baseball too. I had him in just about every sport growing up because So I always actually was blessed to get the good teams, and so Justin played on it. But we're in a wood bat tournament down in Atlanta, and I got the team. And he may remember this, he may not, but I know all the adult coaches did. And I'm sitting here, and I got the team gathered around me, and Justin's right beside me. And I don't notice, but all I'm noticing is something's casting a shadow. Something's casting a shadow, and I'm trying to be serious. And he would tell you I was a real serious coach, and I'm just digging into it, but I'm just catching a shadow. This is a 9 and 10 baseball. That kid had a cup on that day. That cup was the biggest cup I've ever seen on a human being, and it was that cup. And right in the middle of my speech, I remember just looking up, going, "What you got in there, kid?" It was the biggest cup I've ever seen in my life.
His mama wants grandbabies.
Yeah.
She probably told him, "Hey, you better wear this one."
Go on and
We
get
better
him.
protect it all.
He had that cup on, and I just remember like there's a sun going on, but the sun's there. And I get a shadow out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just like, you guys. I'm sitting there going like, you guys got to do this. What the hell is blocking the sun? And I looked
How
up.
was he?
Probably 10 years old
His
at that time.
mom went and bought him an adult size.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
Listen, she
she was
bought a
protecting the
Shaquille
future.
O'Neal size cup.
Oh,
I
my
mean,
word.
I didn't know how he played with it, but that thing was like that, and I didn't notice it during the game or something. I was just like, "Good Lord, what a cup!" So anyway,
After that, he
Hey.
says, "Good night,
Yep,
man."
listen, just
Hey,
about-
bye.
just
out.
one of the great things I remember about coaching, that one of the good things like that. So anyway, guys, we're going to end this episode. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Again, if you're watching tonight or at a later date on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and leave some comments. Let us know what we can do to make it better. And again, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify at a later date, hey, just want you to know we just have some fun when we get here, some good fishing talk, and we're just some good old boys from North Georgia that enjoy what we do, and we appreciate your time as well. And so I think we'll be here next Thursday. We're going to do the taco challenge.
I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that out.
We might have to go on Wednesday of next week. We don't know yet because we might Ryan might be going to try to take the crown back from that hippie Corey Harmon, and he is a hippie. Have you seen his hair?
Yeah.
Have you seen his hair? The boy needs a haircut. I don't know. He ain't gonna get a girl with that hair like that. I don't know. So we'll be working. But anyway, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. If you're on the water this weekend, be safe and catch some fish. Throw some picks up every Monday morning. Paul does the brag board on the Fish North Georgia group page. We would love to see that thing
See him.
full of pictures. Any species count. Doesn't have to be bass. We enjoy the trout and all that stuff too.
Doesn't
So,
have to be Georgia.
and it doesn't have to be Georgia. Anywhere and everywhere. But you guys, hey, share it and just tell everybody about us and help us grow while we try to help you guys have more success on the water. So we love you. We need you. We'll talk to you later.